Lower dunk.
When I don my panty mask, I become truly the Yakuza.
Purple Knight.
I am Purple Shirt.
Hi, hello. This is the part 2.
Welcome back to Yakuza's Quattro.
Yakuza 4 for the algorithm.
For the algo. This is Lord Ump, the show where moi, Chase takes my good dear pals
Monty.
and
Neil, you've been changing the intro so much.
I don't remember. It's been a long time. I don't remember how intros work.
Welcome to Lordum, the show we take someone who hasn't played a game or game.
My turn.
Oh god, yeah, what do we do here, Chase? What is the point of the show?
This is the show where we take somebody who hasn't played a game or game franchise and we walk them through the lore.
Yay!
And we are back with more Yakuza 4. Would one of y'all like to catch everybody up on where we've been, what adventures we've had? Oh god, rustling through the now multiple pages of character notes.
Do you want to take this, Neil, or do you want me to have a go?
You've got the notes in front of you.
Okay, so we've met our first of 4 characters, Akiyama, who is a loan shark, but he's kind of like a nice loan shark. He doesn't ask for interest, and he's an interesting character.
He does, however, put people through sort of bizarre personal tests to see if they'll be strong enough to fix their lives with the money that he gives them.
So he's kind of like starting to get wrapped up in what presumably is going to be a game-long conspiracy told by many perspectives. His perspective is dead simple. We are introduced to Lily, who is a serial killer who's been killing a bunch of people. We don't know why yet. Lily's real name is Yasuko, and we have learned towards the end of his big section. I mean, that's really the core bit, right? We've got characters like the Kanamura family,
who are a very bottom of the ladder Tojo family under the Shibata family. They're a subsidiary of the Shibata family.
Captain Arai is currently in the wind because it seems like he killed a member of the Ueno family and everybody's looking for him, and really if we get him and catch him, all our problems are solved. But it seems like that's not the way to go because the Ueno family actually are counting on them capturing Arai so that it's Yakuza conspiracy shit, so that they can end up getting a hold of Goro Majima's Kamurocho Hills, which is the big construction thing that he's been working on, because that's what they want. The big reveal at the end, which kind of leads us into this, is that our second playable character is going to be
Taiga Saejima.
Taiga Saejima, who is the sworn brother of Majima that we learned about all the way back in Yakuza 0, that basically they organized a hit together and Majima did not show up for the hit, leading to Saejima getting arrested, right? So that was the big reveal there.
That Lily is
Yasuko.
Who is?
A colleague, it seems, or lover or friend or partner of Saejima. Back in the day. So Saejima is connected somehow to Yasuko. We're doing the mystery woman has the plot thing again, but it's interesting. It's pacey as well.
Yeah.
Like, this is a long-ass game. This is part 1 of 4. It's gonna be
I don't know how there's 3 more parts of story.
Yeah, it's just to add to the convolution, right?
There are so many characters you've not met. There are so many characters you've not met.
We've briefly met one of her other playable characters, who's I will not remember his name.
I didn't tell you his name.
Okay, who
Herlock Sholmes.
Herlock Sholmes?
Yes.
Excuse me while I Control F, Control R, his name through the entire screen.
Who showed up to a murder scene where a guy had been shot in the head and confirmed that yes, that would kill a man.
Proceeded to touch all over his face with no gloves. Put his prints all over the body.
And that's pretty much all you're getting, I'm afraid, because if, go back and listen to the last episode if you really want to get caught up in all the little details. I'm sure we'll be reminding ourselves as we go. But when we pick up, it seems like we're about to play a Saejima. Is this his bit?
Yeah, so last we left off was a little tease into part 2, where we saw Majima back in the 80s, and Saejima organizing the hit, and then Saejima going on that hit after Majima didn't show. So everybody's dead.
Oh, and he shot
Except
the chairman of the Ueno family.
He shot the chairman, and he also shot Katsuragi.
Who we saw 25 years, 30 years later alive.
Maybe he didn't fully kill everyone.
But I mean, what a badass. He pretty much succeeded. I always thought that this mission was like totally doomed. He would walk in there and immediately be captured.
Oh my god, no, I'll show
He
you the video
massacred
later.
them.
I'll show you the video later. It's brutal.
Gunmouth, baby.
Yeah, Gunmouth. Gunmouth baby. There's the name of the file. But yeah, let's get into it. Part 2, Taiga Saejima.
Okay.
Chapter 1, To the Truth. 6:05 p.m., April 21st, 1985.
Oh, okay.
So about a month after the events of Part 1. I don't know why I said it's a month after. This is 25 years earlier. This is 1985. I'm stupid. A few hours after the attack, Taiga Saejima of the Tojo clan's Sasai family is arrested for murder after surrendering to the Kamurocho police. Police suspect the attack to be part of the feud between the powerful Tojo clan and its adversary, the Ueno Seiwa clan. Executive involvement of both clans is investigated as police begin interrogation of Saejima. However, Saejima maintains his silence throughout the interrogation. Unable to establish a direct link to the Tojo clan, police conclude that the incident was a one-man job. Saejima is sent to the prosecutor's office.
Why would they think that?
A few months later, 20-year-old Taiga... I mean, remember back in the 80s, they were kind of just... They were going with whatever was the first thing they could. Like, the Yakuza were getting away with a shit ton because they just kind of put a guy forward and go, "It's your killer." And the police would go, "Cool, sounds good."
Yeah. Got you. So it's interesting that Ueno were openly beefing with them back in 85. This isn't a recent...
This was pre the truce.
Yeah.
It's particularly interesting that the Wayno were around back in the 80s. I've just clocked that. The amount of... they're so low on the rung, so low on the ladder nowadays.
Remember,
and we've never heard of them before.
Oh, no, remember that the Ueno, they're not low on any ladder. They're their own independent family.
Yeah,
they're not Tojo.
Yeah.
They're their own separate entity, like the Omi were.
So Wayno's like long-term ambition ultimately would be to become the new Tojo, rather than a family of the Tojo.
They might be.
Yeah, like that would be like the end goal.
Yeah, because they're not a family, they're a clan.
Right.
So assumedly they'd also have subsidiary families and stuff.
Cool.
And we'll see as the game goes on. They're decently sizable.
Never heard of them.
But yeah. A few months later, 20-year-old Taiga Saejima is given the death penalty for the murder of 18 members of the Ueno Seiwa clan and is immediately transferred to the Tokyo Penitentiary. Decades later, on March 1st, 2010, after 25 years of awaiting his execution, Taiga Saejima is suddenly issued a transfer order. March 3rd, 2010, 2 p.m. Taiga Saejima sits handcuffed in the back of a police transport van with 3 guards. The van screeches to a stop and blinding light streams in as the guards throw open the door, telling him to step out. A camera zooms out, showing Saejima's new home, the high-security island prison, Okinawa Penitentiary No. 2.
Oh, Okinawa.
Which, would you like to describe the prison?
Well, the background is gorgeous. It's tranquil blue water and a lovely blue sky.
Kind of place you'd want to set up an orphanage.
Yeah. This is presumably just a few miles away from Morning Glory, Kiryu's orphanage.
It's a tiny rocky island with one road going in, and the entire island is this big square fortress prison. It looks like the base from Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah, it's a little bit Shadow Moses, yeah.
I mean, that's not even like a road, that's a bridge, so presumably it's like a drawbridge. So they can like really lock off this island.
Very Alcatraz, alright.
Yeah, very. The head guard leads him in, taking him to his own cell, so all individual cells in like one central jail hall. 5 p.m., Saejima is brought to the cafeteria for his dinner. The other inmates watching him carefully, especially one who had been noted when he was led to his cell, has been kind of watching. We kind of see this one inmate continuously watching Saejima. An inmate sat next to Saejima asks if he's who he thinks he is, remarking how Saijima's a stone-cold hitman, a friggin' legend. The tone of the room visibly shifts as everyone hears Saijima's name. "I'm not a hitman," Saejima says. Men surrounding him from behind, asking if he's really Saejima. "So what if I am?" he asks, turning to face the man who laughs. "Looks like there really is a god." The men around him pull the tables to the side of the room as the man next to him picks up a knife, shouting, pointing it at Saejima as his men surround him. He says that they're all members of the Ueno Seiwa. They've waited 25 years for their revenge, and now he's gone and shown up right at their door. which of course is a combat tutorial. Saijima's combat is ass. It's really bad. It sucks. I guess if you like playing heavies in video games, you might enjoy it. It's slow. It's sluggish. Sure, he can block, I guess, ish. Not really much better than the others. But his attacks all need wind up and you charge them, and I hate it. It's really bad.
Why is it taking so long for him to die?
That's very typical in a lot of countries with the death penalty.
We're just doing bureaucracy. We're just gonna. It's not meant to be part of the conspiracy. Okay, cool.
Does Japan not have a history of also like holding the death penalty over people and then changing it like as in a way that has been described as kind of torturous? I might be
unsure, maybe.
But it's I mean, it's same in the States that people are on death row for decades sometimes.
Yeah, cool. I wasn't sure if it was meant to be part of the conspiracy that's taken.
I wouldn't lean into that.
Cool, that's fine.
But, Saejima is the worst gameplay in the series potentially. Wow. I love Saejima the character, but Saijima's gameplay ass, really bad. Really, really bad. Also, the even worse part, he's so slow and heavy, and he barely does any more damage than Akiyama, so they've not even balanced it like a proper heavy should be.
So he's just slow and a bit shit.
Yeah, he's a slog. Anyway, Saejima though decimates everybody with zero hint of emotion. You never see Saejima crack emotion. He is just brick wall. They're smashed and bloody on the floor. Well, silently from the sidelines, the man who's been watching the entire time continues to watch on.
Is this a man we were meant to recognize? Okay, the answer is clearly yes. Chase has not given any indication, though.
I think if there was a...
Is that Shibata?
If there was... We've never seen Shibata. If there was a mustache, he might look a bit like...
I can tell you, I should have had a picture of Shibata. This is not Shibata.
If there was a mustache, he would look a bit like, what's his name, that got murdered in his office at the start.
Is that Purple Shirt? Are we finally seeing Purple Shirt? Yeah, no idea.
Is he Frog Face Man? No, because he's got...
Oh, yeah, who had the tigers. Yeah.
No, I'll just keep going.
Okay, so he's watching.
Saejima goes up to the head Ueno guy, grabbing his face on the floor, telling him that, yeah, his life might be in the crapper, but don't blame your fucking dead boss for that. A real Yakuza owns up to his shit. So as of this point, Saejima doesn't know that Ueno and Katsuragi survived. He thinks that he killed everybody in that restaurant. Which also, I love, I didn't mention this, that entire hit happened, Patriarch Ueno got out of prison, and they brought him to a fucking ramen joint. Oh my God. Like, he killed him all in a ramen joint, like a tiny little local ramen joint. Wow. Who needs a grand banquet when you have ramen?
Correct.
You know, he's like, a real Yakuza owns up for his shit. Don't blame your fucking dead boss for the situation you've ended up in. He slams the man's head back down on the floor, as whistles sound all around them, guards flooding the cafeteria. They grab Saejima, taking him to an empty, dirty room and stripping him down. A guard holds him with his arms behind his back while the head guard Saito beats the life out of him with a baton. He keeps going, leaving Saejima bruised and bloody, but Saejima doesn't break, doesn't show any emotion. The warden comes in, telling him that that's enough. Saito remarking how Saijima's a freak of nature for not breaking at this. Saito complains about having to stop, saying how Saijima's up for execution anyway. Who would notice if he died? The warden, though, reminds him that that would make 3 prisoners who have now died under his watch. Saito throws his baton to the side, pissed off that he can't kill Saejima, and storms out of the building. The warden crouches down, getting close to Saijima's face. You've got a visitor. Saejima looks over his shoulder to see the cocky onlooker from the cafeteria stood in the doorway looking at him. The man walks towards Saejima, the warden whispering that this visit will cost him as they pass. That guy goes, I've got friends on the outside. Sure, they'd be glad to slip a cool mill into your account. And the warden goes, heh, and I was just thinking of getting a new car too. It's a very, very corrupt car.
Chase, who stabbed Kiryu at the end of Yakuza 3?
Oh.
What's his name?
The guard leaves as the man sits down next to Saejima, introducing himself as Hamazaki of the Tojo clan.
Hamazaki. The only reason I don't remember this guy at all, really, but all I remember is that when we were starting part 1, you really wanted to remind us who stabbed Kiryu, so I thought, right, he must come back. So yeah.
I more just wanted to remind you that Kiryu got stabbed, but also yes. Also yes.
Hamazaki, present day, is in prison, presumably for stabbing Kiryu.
Yeah. Okay. Basically one of the very, very few characters that spans multiple games.
Yeah. Interesting that, yeah, he's in here with a bunch of Ueno guys. Like, that can't be easy.
Well, I mean, they don't have any personal beef.
Okay, cool.
They have beef with Saejima. He killed all the Ueno, but these Tojo, the Ueno, are technically allies with the Tojo. They're just
it would be a problem if he was like a Shibata maybe, but he's not. He's
Cool. All right.
That's assuming that the Ueno guys in here are getting all that news from the outside.
Oh, they must.
They might be. I have no return character. How rare.
Yeah.
He says that he was one of the big boys with his own family before he ended up in here. Never imagined meeting a living legend, though. 18 kills is no mean feat. Saejima wants to know his game, saying how the guards won't like this little meeting. But Hamazaki laughs, saying that Saejima has no clue where the hell he's at. This ain't no ordinary prison. He asks Saejima if he knows what the place is called, with him responding that it's Okinawa Penitentiary Number 2, obviously. But Hamazaki cracks another laugh, saying, the thing about that is, though, no penitentiary by that name officially exists.
Oh.
Saejima doesn't believe it, but according to Hamazaki, if you look at it on a map, it's just some no-name correctional facility. Nothing out of the ordinary. When in reality, it's a privately funded high-security prison built under government contract secretly.
Right, so this is a Yakuza prison. As in, like, this is for Yakuza. Yeah. Okay.
To the public, it's just another prison, but in reality, it's there to make Yakuza like them disappear with no questions asked.
Cool.
The very room they're in has seen the end to several Yakuza by that previous guard's hand in the last few months alone. Official cause of death always ends up as illness or something random like that.
Okay.
Flip side is that all the guards here are so corrupt that it makes an easy living for somebody like Hamazaki who can bribe them off. So he's kind of living it cozy in here. And Taijima's like, fine, spit it out already. What do you want? And he goes, I need your help with something. Okay. The next day, March 4th, 1 p.m. The prisoners are all led out onto the yard for their recreational time. It's PE. They're at recess. Yay! Saejima sits on the bleachers in the corner, watching as Hamazaki is slipped a key by one of the other inmates across the yard. He goes over to Saejima, slipping him the key and sitting down next to him. Seems that it's a key to Saijima's cell. A copy made by a pro-forger friend of Hamazaki's, as promised. Never said I'll do it, Saejima says, his face still continuing to just have no emotion. Hamazaki laughs. No problem there. You'll do it. You don't have a choice. The scene goes back to the last night in solitary confinement. Saijima's got Hamazaki pinned against the wall, shouting what the fuck does he mean that the Uena Seo is alive and kicking. So he's just been given the news. Saejima thinks that it's a lie meant to get a rise out of him, but Hamazaki swears that it's the truth, saying how the oath sworn between the Ueno and the Tojo was done as a direct result of Saijima's episode back in 85.
Wow.
So basically, the Tojo was like, we killed basically all of you. We'll let you be our equals if we can put this between us. Otherwise, it would have been an all-out Yakuza war.
So that hit, who did that benefit? That seems like, was it a Kazuma move?
Yeah, just to double check this, Chase. It hasn't been confirmed or anything that Saejima was operating under orders from Sassi, his boss.
He was, yes.
He was. So Sassi gave the order, go and take out the Ueno.
Yes. So as far as we know at this point, it seems like it was a joint effort between the Sasai and the Dojima. So Dojima gave Majima his order, and Sasai gave Saejima.
Right. Okay.
So they both gave the
Kazuma is in Dojima and around at that.
Kazuma is technically in the picture somewhere.
I really hope that Kazuma's name is not even said this game. Never mind him being behind all of this.
Oh, bear in mind, he's back to life now, isn't he?
That's his brother, remember? His American brother.
His American brother.
That looks just like him.
It's American Kazuma.
Yeah.
That's Joji. Before he started his singing career. So he goes, see, seems that Yoshiharu Ueno survived being shot by Saejima, and while the Ueno Seo were definitely hurt bad after the shooting, they were able to rebuild. Saejima doesn't understand. How could he have survived? Hamazaki crouches next to him, saying that it's a good question, and one that he has his boss to thank for. See, after Saejima's rampage, his boss, Sasai, had to shoulder the blame and step down. But let's say that he hadn't, hypothetically speaking. Sasai would have been one of the Tojo's top dogs by now. So it doesn't make sense. And any chance of knowing up and walked away when Sasai disappeared. Without Sasai to head the family, it crumbled. And who rose from the ashes? The Shibata family. Same ones who were the Sasai family's direct rivals back in 85. Only thing that the hit got rid of was Old Man Sasai and Saejima himself. The news devastates Saejima. But Hamazaki tries to rally him, saying that he's still offed 18 of his rival family's men. Got the honor of 1,000 Yakuza. Damn, he's practically a Tojo family folk hero. But also, that afternoon gets spicier. See, remember how you were meant to meet a brother to take out the Ueno together, but he never showed? Well, that was all according to plan. Back in the yard the next day, Hamazaki asks if the truth of it all has soaked in yet. The fact that Majima stabbed him in the back.
Oh, no.
Seems Hamazaki has gone and told him how high Majima has risen in the meantime while he's been in prison.
Oh, he's such a little snake.
Living it up like the king of Kamurocho while Saejima rots. Way Hamazaki sees it, Saijima's got one shot at settling the score, but he's never going to do it if he doesn't get out of here. We'll make our escape tonight at 1 o'clock, while everyone is sound asleep. Both of them will exit their cell with the forged keys, Hamazaki going for the exit while Saejima throws his bed over the railing to distract the guards. While Saejima deals with the guards, Hamazaki will head for the warden's office. Once the guards are dealt with, they'll meet there. Hamazaki needs something from the office for after they get out, but don't worry about that.
Just to double check, Chase, there's no inference here that Hamazaki is running his family from prison. His family.
As far as we're aware, his family's gone.
Cool.
As far as we are aware, they've probably been absorbed into other families.
Cool.
At least the Hamazaki family is never mentioned as of this point. So after that, they'll make a beeline for the yard, where they'll use a grappling hook to escape over the guard tower.
Yeah, no, just grab a grappling hook, will you?
Easy. Batman.
Main issue, they don't got a grappling hook.
Oh.
Well, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it?
So, I'm thinking we get the keys forged, then you use your rocket boots to fly over the edge.
Only problem, no rocket boots.
Alan, you made the boss's rocket boots? That's pretty cool, man. Real smart.
You're so talented, dude.
Fucking love Spider-Friends. So it's up to Saejima to find some rope and something hooky. He's sure that one of the weirdos in here has smuggled something that will get the job done. Seems that one guy in particular might be able to help. He ran a booming business down here in Okinawa, but caught up in a Yakuza shitstorm. The camera pans over, and it's our weapons dealer from Yakuza 3.
Oh, that's
it's like the big guy who was like in the back of a van making weapons.
That guy deserved to be arrested. He was just driving around.
It seems that the guards like his weapons, so allow him to have a weapons workshop in the prison.
Fucking excuse me?
So he has a full weapons workshop in the prison in exchange for just making weapons for the guards. Which is just logical.
Love it.
I can't see how that could go wrong at all.
Yeah, so he can basically make anything as long as he has materials. So get him what he needs, and they'll get their grappling hook. Saejima heads over, and Kamiyama, the weapons manufacturer, tells him that he needs a chain. And lucky for him, he saw an inmate swinging one around earlier. By the way, keep things civil. No fights. The guards don't like that. So Saejima beats the shit out of the guy with the chain. All these fights are like timed. It's basically like, oh, you need to kill him quick before the guards see. Right. But they're also all basically tutorial fights, so Next up, they need a hoe. That classic thing that all prisoners have. But luckily, it seems that some of the prisoners are put on slave labor in the farm. So they'll have one.
Happens a lot in private prisons.
I mean, yeah, that was a joke, but it's a bit too real. It should be noted that while Saejima was doing all these chores, the prisoners keep warning him off against Hamazaki, telling him all the stuff he did back in Yakuza 3, trying to sell the Tojo to the Snake Flower Triad.
He's a little snake.
And saying how he's gonna sell Saejima out the first chance he gets. But Saejima doesn't give a shit. Anyway, the guy with the hoe wants a smoke, which Saejima gets off a guy who entertained him by beating the shit out of the Ueno guys in the cafeteria. But obviously the smoke ain't enough, so Saejima beats the shit out of him too.
Hey player, you know that really interesting conspiracy that was set up quite pacily with Akiyama? Well, we're gonna reset the pace and you're off on 50 fetch quests to get a hoe.
Cool beans! Kamiyama makes Saejima the grappling hook and wishes us luck with whatever the fuck we're gonna use it for. He doesn't want to know.
Yeah.
I wonder what else you would use that for. On Hamazaki's instruction, he hides it under a manhole cover near the guard tower.
Possible.
Uses for a hoe.
hose and manholes.
I meant the grappling hook.
Oh no.
Oh, I thought you said it after I said manhole. Anyway, he hides it under a manhole cover somehow with no guards seeing it. The manhole cover conveniently directly next to the guard tower.
Love it.
Convenient. So that night, the plan goes into motion. Hamazaki pulls off his jumpsuit, revealing that somehow he has an entire prison guard outfit underneath his jumpsuit.
Incredible.
Prepared?
And he makes his escape. As planned, Saejima leaves his cell, picks up his bed, and hurls it over the railing. Watching as it shatters to bits on the floor below. The lights immediately switch on, with guards rushing in as Hamazaki rushes out behind them. The other inmates all waking with a start, rushing to their bars to see what's going on. Saejima calmly walks up to the guards, who just so happen to be, of course, led by the favorite murder-happy hobo, Saito, who's more than happy to stop this right now and smear Saijima's brains across the floor.
And he brought all 4 guys with him.
Yeah.
This mass murderer. Okay.
And look at their snarls. They look scary.
Sure, this is going to go well for the guards.
The other inmates, realizing that it's an escape attempt, bang at their bars, trying to be let out. But Saejima fully ignores them, watching as the guards lock the doors. It's go time. In Saijima's words, Hamazaki just said to keep him busy, but ain't it faster just flatten them? So flatten he does, taking the key, and smearing them across the floor as he goes to escape. Saito from the floor pants, telling him to go ahead and try. He won't be the first. But he needs to know that no one has ever managed to escape before. Saito's clipped all them little birdies' wings. And now it's a dungeon! We get a dungeon nice and early in Saijima's part. So the entire prison is actually a kind of cool dungeon. I like this dungeon. We run through the sections, beating up guards. They occasionally try to, slam gates down. We, dodge roll before getting decapitated. Every few sections, Saito will show back up, and you need to repeat that. I have a note that says it's because he's a masochist with a raging hard-on for Dom Daddy Saejima.
Yeah. And there can't be another explanation.
There can't be. So Dom Daddy Saejima uses his signature move, slam his face into the bars, and sweep it across so his nose breaks on every bar. Ooh. And Saito comes.
Fuck's sake. If it hasn't already become clear, don't listen to this around children, all right? Or anyone you want to respect you, frankly. What's that you listen to, Bill? Lord up.
Saejima makes it up to the warden's office, which is in a real bougie, most of this just looks like this, gray walls. You get up to, where the warden's office is, and it's, ornate wooden paneling.
That does not surprise me.
Marble flooring. It's why these... It's one hallway that's super ornate and nowhere else. Where we find Hamazaki, who seems to be looking for evidence of something. He finds whatever he's looking for, tucks it into his shirt. They make their way up to the roof, where they see that there's a sniper on top of the guard tower. Hamazaki's like, I'll deal with that. You keep him distracted. Go play moving target. Yeah, so Saejima runs around the roof. Saejima tries to make it to the other side of the guard tower. And basically, you now have to continue fighting through guards, but with a laser pointer trained on you. And if you stop for longer than 2 seconds at any point, he shoots you.
Right, but Saejima's a big slow boy, so how does that go?
Character.
It just means that you can't stop moving.
Right, though you have to stop moving to hit people in this game.
Yes. Lucky for Saejima, sniper bullets don't. They're not that painful.
Okay.
They're actually quite soft.
A nice little massage.
Yeah. Also though, if he shoots Saejima explodes though.
Why?
I don't actually know. Exploding bullets? ? I'm not really sure why he explodes, but he explodes and kind of knocks back.
Did we get out of the prison?
No, why are we still in the prison?
They clear the section, and Hamazaki takes out the sniper, and they meet back up. They team up for one final fight against a group of guards before making it out back into the yard. Saejima grabs the grappling hook from its hiding place and hurls it up, snagging it on the ledge of the tower. He tells Hamazaki to go first.
No!
Escaping was his idea, not Saijima's. Besides, if Hamazaki doesn't make it out, the plan's not worth shit to Saejima.
Hamazaki's kicking that grappling hook off.
Oh, yeah.
He's done making mistakes, wondering how different things would be, and he's done regretting too. Yeah, Hamazaki might not be the nicest guy, but he didn't stab Saejima in the back. And that's all that matters now.
Oh, he just stabbed Kiryu.
Saejima doesn't know who the fuck Kiryu is.
Yeah, good point.
The
dragon
only person in Japan who doesn't.
Hamazaki doesn't really know what to say, but Saejima forces the chain into his hands, and he makes his way up. But as he nears the top, all the yard lights go on. He clambers over the edge, looking down, as Saejima is cornered by Saito and his guards. He calls down, telling Saejima to come up, but they both know that this isn't how this plays out. Saejima shouts back for him to just go, start swimming while he buys some time. This fight isn't actually, like, for all the drama, this fight isn't actually any harder than the rest. And actually, Saejima can steal their guns and shoot them in the head, which he's really good at. It's kind of his signature move.
18, 19, 20, 21.
It's Captain.
Does he do it with his mouth again?
Yeah, so he lifts Saito by the throat, while the bodies are in piles on the floor around them, before hurling him into the wall, his head smashing against it as he collapses into the floor, probably with several brain injuries. Saejima limps towards the chain, grabbing it and with the last of his strength, hauling himself up. But with each pull upward, his strength fails him more. He nears the top, reaching for the edge. He's so close, but his grip begins to loosen, and he falls. When our main man Hamazaki catches him by the wrist and hauls him up over the ledge.
Oh, wow, okay.
Woo! They both lay at the top of the tower, panting, as Saejima asks, why is he still here? Thought I'd leave a bad taste in my mouth, ditching you and all. Besides, you're only the second one. The second guy who's ever trusted me.
Also, I need you to kill Majima.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, you're the best fighter, man. Yeah, you can now work for me. Yeah, fair enough. I shouldn't have doubted he was going to kick the grappling hook. He needs him.
Hamazaki pulls the grappling hook up, throwing it to the other side, and tells Saejima that he gets to go first this time. Only things left is them and the sea. And Saijima's on death row. Better that he gets out of there faster. He pats a bundle on his shirt, the thing that he took from the warden's office, saying that the only thing he needs is right here, his ticket back into business. He puts the chain in Saijima's hand, and Saejima smiles at him. Catch you later, brother.
Oh, no. Oh.
Hamazaki looks at him shocked. Brother? Saejima smiles. You heard me. Hasn't been long, but we're partners in crime now. Brothers. He takes the chain, beginning his descent down the wall, but as he's a few steps down, Hamazaki stops him, calling out, saying that if they both somehow make it out of this alive, how about they team up? They'd be unstoppable. The whole Tojo, no, the whole world would be theirs. So what do you say? When you make it to shore, bang! A shot goes off into Hamazaki's back.
That made me jump.
I don't know where, that's why I laughed. Hamazaki falling in pain as Saejima shouts at him. The camera turns as little fucking worm Saito crawls out of a hatch on the top of the tower, gun in hand, brains pouring from his head. His gun still smoking. Not on my watch. He shoots again and again into Hamazaki's chest.
Oh, sweet.
Fair enough.
Hamazaki spreads his arms, getting between Saito and Saejima. With troubled voice. Saejima. Kiryu. Once you hit shore, search out a man named Kiryu. What do you mean? We're doing this together, brother.
Hello.
He's here in Okinawa. Dependable guy. It's Kiryu. Got it? He turns back to Saito, Saijima's pleas falling on deaf ears, and charges him. Saito lets off another shot, but it misses as Hamazaki slams into him, pushing him to the edge of the tower. Saito shouts and begs for him to stop, but Hamazaki smiles, pushing him to the edge, and with one final shove, sending them both over the edge into the dark waters below. Saejima is on horrified, and with sheer
stupid thing to do.
And with sheer resolve, lets go of the chain, diving into the sea after them.
Okay.
Chapter 2, Tiger and Dragon.
Okay, so crossing out Hamazaki, weird thing, the order to give Saejima, because surely Hamazaki doesn't like Kiryu. He stabbed him, he tried to kill him. And he's saying he's a dependable guy. For what? For taking out Majima? A man who Kiryu notoriously has worked with in the past?
There's more than meets the eye.
Oh,
here.
apparently.
Well, I mean, He just knows Kiryu as a dependable guy. Didn't necessarily say he's dependable.
If Saejima rocks up and is like, Hamazaki told me to find you, Kiryu, you're like, get out of my orphanage. This is definitely not my problem.
I thought it was very progressive in a game from 2010 to see two guys bring each other over the edge together at the same time.
Saito wasn't the only one. All right. This chapter. Okay.
Oh, no!
Right, okay, what does that mean?
Chapter 2. Tiger and Dragon. March 5th, 5 p.m., Okinawa. The waves crash against the beach at the foot of a small home.
Yay.
A young girl in a school uniform struggles as her dog, Mame, pulls on its leash, urging her forward, before finally breaking free and rushing to the beach. It runs to the water, barking as the girl chases after, gasping in shock when she sees what Mame's been running towards. The washed-up body of Taiga Saejima.
Oh.
Also, it's Haruka.
Yeah, we got that.
So how much time has passed since Yakuza 3? About a year?
About a year, yeah.
About a year.
About a year. Keep in mind that the games roughly take place about when they release.
Yeah, cool.
So there was about a year release window between these, so the games take place also a year.
Cool.
Saejima wakes up sometime later in the Morning Glory orphanage, being looked after by Haruka Sawamura. He's been cleaned and bandaged, with her joking that they have tons of kids, but it's the first time they've taken care of an adult, which is not true.
Yeah.
They took care of a lot of adults in Yakuza 3.
I hope he appreciates that this girl is already balancing running this orphanage with,
And also being a hospital.
taking care of a 40-year-old man.
Haruka's wise enough to be able to recognize the jumpsuit, right? And be like, no, okay, I'm just not going to, this is not my problem. I'm going to go tell Uncle Kaz.
She was worried that Saejima was dead when they took him in. Right. She goes on to say that her Uncle Kaz will be back soon. He thought Saejima may have been on a shipwreck, so he went to go check with the police. Useful. Saejima freaks out, grabbing Haruka's wrist while hearing the cops may be involved. And throws her to the floor, getting on top of her.
What?
He looks down at her, his heart racing faster. A bead of sweat trickles from his forehead. He stares longer into her eyes before pulling away, sitting up and looking away from her. Haruka pulls herself up, looking horrified over at Saejima, with her eyes red. Thank fuck, only a moment later, Kiryu shows up, and I'm glad to get that picture off screen.
What is the context supposed to... What's my reading supposed to be there?
Overtly sexual, and it's a very uncomfortable thing.
Yeah, it's supposed to read as he considers doing something.
Yes, yep, it does. Saijima's a fan favorite character. Everybody hates that scene. Everybody fucking hates that scene. Nobody knows why it's there. It's really uncomfy.
I'm not gonna lie, Chase, it's pretty hard to come back from that. As a fan favorite character.
On the Discord, the entire Yakuza channel has been questioning whether you guys will come back from that, because I feel like you can come back from it easier playing the game.
Can we skip to part 3?
No. Saejima considers noncery then. For a minute.
Brief second, yeah.
Right. I'm gonna have to get an actual drink.
This is overshadowed.
I do think
everything.
It's meant to be less noncery and more just a woman, but also yes. Anyway, we're moving swiftly along.
Okay. He's got a big hill to climb. Let's keep going.
Yes, he does. I agree. Kiryu's here. Right. Yay! Haruka quickly gets up. Very clearly thankful that Kiryu has shown up. He asks if everything's okay, watching as she straightens her skirt and quickly says that she needs to go to the supermarket and practically sprints out of the room.
Right, so you kick that man out.
Kiryu takes Saejima out to the porch, sitting on it saying how he's glad to see that he's okay.
Oh, great. Good dad.
Saejima apologizes for all the trouble. Lucky for him, it seems that all the kids but Haruka are out on a field trip, so Kiryu has a little extra time on his hands.
Right.
He begins questioning Saejima, seeing if he still has his memory, if he knows what led to him being washed up on that beach. Saejima stays silent, with Kiryu clearly knowing that he knows he just won't say. He turns it then, asking if he can at least tell him his name. Saijima's hesitant, but he knows he at least owes Kiryu a name. Although asking doesn't a man typically introduce himself before asking for another's name. Kiryu introduces himself, with Saejima instantly questioning if he struck gold finding the guy that Hamazaki had told him about. He proceeds to immediately give Kiryu a fake name, Suzuki. Pretty common name, Kiryu remarks. Although not typically from around here. Must be from the mainland. Which is, Kiryu fucking knows it's not his real name. He asks what Suzuki's plans are from here. He didn't have anything on him when he washed up. Won't be able to go to a police or a doctor without an ID. Kiryu is happy to at least help him contact some friends and family. Saejima's hesitant to say anything, but he gets up, asking if Kiryu is his real name. He laughs, remarking how who would have thought he'd end up floating right to his damn doorsteps, and he turns to Kiryu, asking for help. Kiryu takes him down to the beach, where he asks if he's got this straight. Someone on Suzuki's boat mentioned him, and told Suzuki to look for him if he ever needed help. But then their ship sank, and everybody drowned, except for Saejima, who was narrowly able to swim to shore.
And the prison outfit, that's just
it's a classic fishing outfit. Classic fishing outfit. Saejima's like, dude, I fucking know it's weird, but I need to get back to Kamurocho specifically. No matter what. Which, I have a note, why didn't he just say fucking Tokyo? Why do you have to specifically go, I need to go specifically to this neighborhood where the Yakuza all live. I could have gone anywhere in Tokyo, but I need to go to the Yakuza part. He asks only for enough to get up there, and he'll pay him back once he's taken care of business and scraped together the cash. Now see, Kiryu is a meathead, but Kiryu's not a moron. And he turns to Saejima going, and he turns to Saejima going, so, how many years did you spend in prison? Saejima tries to play dumb, but Kiryu has already talked to the Coast Guard, and there were no accidents last night. In fact, it was one of the calmest nights they've had in a month, with not a cloud in sight.
Love it, yes.
Besides, what do you think it costs to get from Okinawa to Tokyo these days? And Saejima's like, I don't know, it couldn't cost more than, what, 30 grand? And Kiryu goes, that's not even going to get you beyond the plane ticket.
So you won't believe what Goro Majima did.
What about transportation to the airport? What about once you get to Tokyo? Do you know how much a taxi's going to cost? Saejima's like fucking beads of sweat, like clearly shitting himself, knowing that Kiryu fucking he's just not fooling fucking anyone.
This is the Kiryu's smartest moment. This might be a crowning moment for him.
Unless he agrees to take him there, in which case, all respect is about to go.
I think we know that
Yakuza 3 goodwill is about to go out of the window, Chase.
Kiryu's like, it wasn't hard for me to come to this fucking conclusion, saying that it was because of Haruka that he really knew because of what happened this afternoon. Those were the eyes of a man who hadn't seen a woman in years, hadn't been a part of everyday society. Kiryu tells Saejima that he gets it, especially the feeling of readjusting. After all, he was in for 10 years himself. I'm guessing your sentence was longer. Or should I say, is longer. Kiryu turns to Saejima, saying that he isn't going to tell him what to do, but he'd advise turning himself back in before they catch himself. Kiryu would be happy to help him turn himself in. Yeah, no, so they basically just the entire thing of, he's a desperate man who hasn't seen a woman in years.
But that's just not how people work.
I mean, I hate it.
I haven't had
I hate it.
sex in years.
It's just...
I hate it. Luckily, it's basically never brought up again.
Right.
So...
But it is also the foundation for Kiryu's entire relationship with this man.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
What a way to reintroduce Kiryu Kazuma, everybody.
Yep.
Sorry, there's a 50-50 chance this guy dies this game.
Kind of rooting for it. Didn't you say he's a fan favourite character? I'm not going to lie, Chase. So far, he hasn't done much to make me see that whatsoever.
Yeah, that's fair.
Even without that.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
He's a meathead who killed people, got conned, and has escaped prison.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
Okay, no, I'm sure. Okay. Yeah, no, look, but I've written a little graph and I've put part 2 at the bottom of the mountain, so we'll trace it as we go.
Come on, let's go.
We're halfway through his part.
Saejima laughs coldly, saying how there is no going back. It would be an execution on sight at this point. Kiryu thinks that 10 years was hard time. Talk to him when he's on 25. All that matters to him now is getting back to Kamurocho, and he's going to do whatever it takes to do that. To Saejima, this isn't about getting a fresh start. It's about getting the truth. That and making those bastards taste the pain for what he's been dealing with for 25 years. Kiryu-san, I'm real grateful for all you've done to me. You and the little lady. But I can't stick around. You know too much about me now, so please, just give me some money before this gets ugly. I'm begging you. Saejima puts his hands together, bowing his head as he begs Kiryu, but gets a singular no in response.
Good lad, Kiryu.
Kiryu doesn't know why Saejima was put in prison, but he's not helping him get revenge. You know this. It's Kiryu though. It's purely on the revenge point that he says no, and nothing else. He's seen too many walk the path, and the inevitable misery that
Yeah,
follows.
save you from yourself is the logic. Okay.
If Saejima still wants to go through with it, he's going to need a good reason. Until then, Kiryu can't help him. Saejima's face downturns into a frown. And if I said I couldn't tell you, then I can't help. Saejima shifts, squaring up as he glares into Kiryu's eyes. Sorry about this, but I gotta know the truth. The men circle each other, Saejima laughing. You know, you remind me of my sworn brother. Up against you, I don't gotta worry about killing you by accident. Kiryu returns the glare. Right, consider this a test then. To see just how bad you want this. Kiryu fucking Kazuma boss fight!
That's fun.
Oh.
And of course, Saejima goes down because it's the Dragon of Dojima.
Yeah, and Kiryu has, pretty sure, canonically not lost a boss fight in, like, 4 games.
Yeah.
It is an absolute clobberfest on the beach with two just tanks of men slamming each other in the face with rock-hard fists.
Kiryu's got a fully unlocked skill tree as well. Like
I don't know. He's been chilling in Okinawa for a while now.
he's got a dad.
Also, he had the fucking Yakuza 3 skill tree, which, like, let's be real, is not peak form. Both men are, like, really equally impressed with each other, with both of them easily outdoing each other's expectations. But as they continue, what are you doing? Stop that! Haruka comes running down the beach, just returning from market. She tries to get between the men, grabbing onto their arms, but she's accidentally thrown to the ground. Kiryu immediately stops the fight to go to her aid, when suddenly Saejima falls to his knees, grasping at his chest. Haruka rushes to him, asking if he's okay. Shit. How am I gonna face Hamazaki now? Haruka and Kiryu exchange horrified glances hearing Hamazaki's name. Saejima collapses to the ground, unconscious, as Haruka looks over at Kiryu. Uncle Kaz, who is he? They take him back to the house and have a doctor check him over. That evening, they're sat beside him. Haruka's concerned for him, but hearing Hamazaki's name, she can't bring herself to help somebody who says that they're friends with him. From basically now on, that's Haruka's reason to not trust him. Just the Hamazaki thing.
Yeah. Not that either.
Just the Hamazaki thing. So they kind of glaze it. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad writing. It's bad. Kiryu understands, asking if she hates him, but she doesn't know. He tries to reassure her, saying that even if Hamazaki was unhinged the last time they met, a lot can change in a year. Just because Suzuki is friends with him doesn't necessarily mean that he's a bad person.
No, the other thing implies that.
Yeah. When Hamazaki lost his fight to the Tojo, he lost the only thing that mattered to him. Kiryu was probably just the only one that he could take his anger out on with a knife. If Hamazaki came to Kiryu now, showing that he'd learned to have faith in his fellow man, Kiryu would help him in a heartbeat.
No, he wouldn't. Oh, God.
Kiryu continues that, who the fuck was he fooling with a massive-ass Yakuza tattoo on his back?
Yeah, that was a thought I had when he was sitting there bandaged up.
But also, Kiryu has one of those. They aren't so different in that regard.
I have missed Kazuma Kiryu a little bit. Yeah. Like, Akiyama was awesome and what a great character, but I have missed just the dumbness.
Yeah.
He just wants to see the best in people.
Yeah, when thoughts arrive to him eventually, they're so crystallized and simple,
Yeah. The Yakuza that Haruka has met over the year have all been on a spectrum. He asks her where she thinks that he lands. Haruka thinks hard, saying that she doesn't think that he's a bad person, but she can't tell for sure. That's enough for Kiryu, though. As she gets up, he gets up, saying that he'll need a hot meal when he comes to, so Kiryu's off to the shop. Haruka seems
Wait. Sorry, Kiryu's leaving
God.
Haruka alone with him again. Kiryu!
What the fuck?
Send Haruka to the shop.
Jesus Christ!
Kiryu!
Haruka seems nervous about being left alone with him.
Character assassination.
With Kiryu even asking if she is, but ultimately reassuring her that Suzuki won't hurt her. He's not that kind of man.
I knew that, Haruka. I learned that from punching him on the beach.
When he tried to rob me so he could go on his murder quest.
Fan favorite Taiga Saejima.
Is this written by the same people that wrote 3? Is this like the same team sticking around? Jesus Christ. Okay.
As he goes to leave, he stops, saying that there's a bag over, but I'd also like to My favorite part about this is at this point, it's like 3 a.m. and Haruka does make a point of like, aren't all the shops going to be closed? And Kiryu's like, I'll find something.
He's making an excuse so he can go out for a smoke.
I might be several hours.
He's just standing outside.
He's basically like, I'll grab the tram into town. Surely something will be open.
He's just waiting outside for it to open for 6 hours.
You're going to need to spend an hour cooking when I get back.
Unless I make curry, the only thing I know how to make. As he goes to leave, he stops, saying that there's a bag over by the door that he found on the beach when he found Suzuki. Must be his. Be sure to give it to him when he's awake. Some time passes, Haruka beginning to nod off when Saejima finally comes to. He's shocked that they brought him back and even cared for him again after everything that's fucking happened. And even more so when he learns that Kiryu's off to still get him fucking food. She jumps up, remembering the bag and going to grab it. Coming back with a decent-sized leather duffel bag, which she brings, saying, "It's yours, right?" He opens it up, finding it filled with clothes and a note, which he pulls out and reads. Under the note is an envelope, filled with enough cash to get him to Tokyo and then some. He begins to cry, quickly regaining his composure and closing the bag as Haruka asks if he's okay. He gets up, quickly heading for the door, stopping briefly to thank Haruka for all she's done. She tries to stop him, saying that it's past 3 a.m, but he doesn't have the time to wait.
So Kiryu has been gone for 2 hours?
No, Kiryu left like an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. He changes into the clothes in the bag, a long green overcoat over a black muscle shirt and gray camo pants, along with some dope combat boots, which where the fuck did... As he finishes tying the laces, he gets up to leave. Haruka tries to stop him one last time, calling out for Suzuki-san. "It ain't Suzuki. Name's Saejima. Taiga Saejima. Tell Kiryu-san too that Saejima was here. I won't forget what he did for me. We'll meet again someday. Pass that along too." She promises, and with a genuinely warm smile, Saejima departs. As he does, Kiryu returns, watching him walk down the road before returning to the house. Haruka passes along the message, asking if Kiryu's going to stop him. Surely he isn't recovered, but Kiryu says that he'll be fine. Kiryu sits next to her, as she asks where the groceries are. Kiryu laughs, saying that she was right. Everywhere was closed. And Haruka just lets out an exasperated sigh, falling back to the floor. "I can't figure out how you grown-ups work sometimes."
Yeah, I can't figure out how you've managed to stay alive until you met me.
Part 3! Chapter 3. The 25-year vacuum. Bye, Kiryu. We're done with him.
I'm really glad that Kiryu did not, in fact, get on a train with him to Tokyo.
No, he's like, here's money and clothes. I do want to know where the fuck Kiryu had this outfit lying around. I would also like to just go back for a second. If the outfit looks familiar, Lee from Yakuza 0 seems to have been based on Taiga, kind of. At least the same green coat. Seems inspiration. Just a cool Easter egg. I suppose Easter egg more in Yakuza 0 than in here, since this is the original. But you know. Anyway, March 6th, 2010. After 25 long years, Saejima Taiga returns at last to Kamurocho, Tokyo. As expected, he is instantly baffled. It's wildly back from what it was in the 80s. Even more so than Kiryu was, just kind of getting confused by phones and stuff. In his mind, it's gone down the crapper. Which, I mean, to be fair, compared to Yakuza 0, it has. But what a better place to start his search than with his old boss, Old Man Sasai himself. He heads off to the old Sasai family HQ, finding basically no one really around. Asking around the homeless in the area, he's led to an older homeless man named Toku, who hangs out in the underground mall. If anybody knows who happened to these Yakuza relics, it's probably him. In exchange for some of our finest Don Quixote alcohol, he tells us absolutely nothing. The family's gone, and he doesn't know what happened to their boss. But hey, maybe heading back to where it began could be a good place to search. Maybe. Who knows? Saejima heads off to his old apartment, heading up to the roof, but finds that he's not alone. A suave punk in a red sports jacket stands above the body of numerous suited men. It's our boy Kido.
Kido Kanamura.
Kido's back. Seems that the men jumped him thinking that he might be some easy pickings, but they always have the wrong idea about him. Come on, some little shit working directly under Arai of all people? don't make him laugh.
Sorry, Chase, really dumb question.
Yeah.
Where are we here regarding the Akiyama storyline? Does this now take place after the end of Akiyama?
So this is
Cool.
when...
This is after Akiyama's story is done.
is what happens next.
So currently, Kira has been given some money to go and fund the search for Arai.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Cool, got you.
Seems that the men are Shibata family, trying to track down Arai via Kido, obviously unsuccessfully. Hearing the Shibata family name, Saejima hurries over to Kido, who, while too young to recognize the Sasai family name, does clearly recognize Saejima as being in the business. Saejima, clearly seeing that Kido knows about the Shibata family and being on none too friendly terms with them, decides that he's the perfect guy who's absolutely going to help him find Sasai, so he kind of just, like, grabs him and kidnaps him.
Oh, right.
Yeah, okay.
Terrified and in a corner, Kido immediately takes off running, shouting behind him that he has his own shit to deal with. I can't help right now. But obviously, through the power of video game chase sequences, Saejima catches him, dragging him to the children's park, saying that he just wants some answers. Kido basically catches Saejima up on all the events of the Akiyama part, concluding that Akiyama's fine and nobody's found Arai yet.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I think by this point it's been like a couple weeks. Cool. Saejima tells Kido about a bit about the Sasai. Back 25 years ago, they were similar to the Kanemura family, a third-rate family under the Tojo. Although, unlike the Kanemura, the Sasai were rivals with the Shibata family. The hit on the Ueno was meant to skyrocket Sasai's position up above Shibata, making him Tojo inner circle. At least, that's what it was meant to be before it all went wrong. Kido instantly recognizes the famous Ueno hit, like, kind of marveling and, fuck, this guy's a fucking legend in front of me. Saejima doesn't like, though, being called a legend, saying that there's nothing legendary about pointing a gun and pulling the trigger. Kido also puts together that Saejima was obviously meant to hang for that, and as such, given he's not dead, he's probably broken out of prison, which freaks him the fuck out. He's like, I've got enough shit on my mind right now. I don't need to deal with a prison convict Yakuza folk hero.
Kido has been used to being an absolute nobody in the Yakuza. Probably coasting around, hanging out with Purple Shirt, playing some video games, doing some collections, and is now critical to the future of the Tojo clan in a matter of days.
Seemingly, yeah.
Poor guy.
I know.
And now he's got fucking PTSD Rambo coming and kidnapping him.
So just Rambo then.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Why does everybody keep knowing I was in prison? Is it the prison length hair?
To be fair, he had that hair before he went to prison.
Good point. Yeah, touche.
Saejima hurriedly tells him to shut the fuck up. All he wants to know is the truth of what happened to his boss and whether MAJIMA really stabbed him in the back. Kido continues to freak out. He does not shut the fuck up, saying that how this shit's way out of his league. But Saejima's like, hey, it's fine. All I need is an introduction to anybody who may have known what happened back in 85. And Kido may actually have the perfect person. He tells Saejima about an information broker, best of the best. But that talk is best saved for behind closed doors. So he leads Saejima over to his new hideout, which coincidentally happens to be the old Hatsushiba family office, down in the homeless tunnels. You know how the homeless were like, hey, that used to be our home. Can you get it back for us, Akiyama? Akiyama, like, kind of chunked the Hatsushiba out and went, here you go, Kido. Oh. So, the homeless kind of, I mean, the homeless of the other parts, but that specific room, he's like, you can't have that back, though.
But they helped.
That's Kido's hideout now.
They literally helped during the dungeon.
Yeah.
God damn, Akiyama. Alright, fair enough. I wrote good guy at the very start of his part when we were learning early details about him. Still love him.
Guy.
Cross out the word good.
This time, I can't use they're all criminals excuse, because technically Akiyama's not a criminal. For as much as he gets dragged into prison, not a criminal.
Sorry, because his sin list isn't quite as long as Saijima's at this point.
Do you have a sin list?
Tries to rob an orphanage, attacks, in quotes, Haruka, attacks a man who nursed him back to health, leaves, and kidnaps Kido. So far, not a great list.
Yeah.
I'm only doing this, Chase, because you told me he was a fan favorite character. If you hadn't said that, I'd be like, well, whatever, I don't know who this guy is. I want to know why.
Because he's great.
I'm waiting for it.
Because it's Taiga Saejima. Yep. Once they're in private, he tells Saejima about the informant, a legend who knows everything, past and present. Apparently, he pays the homeless people to gather his intel. He doesn't know specifically who he is, though, so best to track him down via the homeless. Oh, also avoid cops. Saejima heads out of the underground tunnel, seeing a homeless man outside, and he tries to talk to him, but instantly the homeless man bolts, shouting about how the master, an old man who's been digging a tunnel in the sewers, is gonna die.
I beg your pardon.
It's the master. He's been digging a tunnel in the sewers.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm looking for the florist of science. The master's digging a tunnel and he's gonna die.
He leads us to a manhole and leads us down into the sewers, which I love. Several characters can go in manholes. Most of them need like a special tool to open it. Saejima just kind of like bear grabs it and hurls it.
Oh, that's fun.
Because Saejima is
Fan favorite character.
So we head down where we find the master in front of his famous hole. His very famous hole, being accosted by a number of Yakuza, who fully think that he is digging that tunnel to hide treasure.
Sure.
Saejima steps in, giving them the only true treasure in life. Broken ribs. The homeless man, whose name is Ken, and the master thanks Saejima for his help. We learn from the master that there's obviously no treasure back there. He's actually searching for something, although he has no clue what it is. His father on his deathbed told him that he's buried something beneath the streets of Kamurocho. The master knew the general location at one point, but with all these newfangled sewers and underground malls, it's been impossible to pin down. It's like they all just sprung up in the last year. Where'd they come from?
Did he do this himself?
Yes.
That's a wide hole, my guy.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
Like the structuring here with like the metal railings and stuff too, really clever.
I mean, I don't think he's structured that. I'm pretty sure that is just where he's torn through actual legitimate construction.
Oh, well, still impressive. Does he just do
That's
it with his
rebar,
hands?
and it's in a lot of it's in all good concrete walls.
Ah, it's got little rat claws.
This stuff is impressive, though. If that was him.
He reckons that whatever his dad left, he buried it during the war, and he's been digging for 25 years to find it.
This stinks like a side quest, Chase.
This sounds like a perfect amount of time in Saijima's brain, so with minimal begging from Ken, he agrees to help dig. In return, the master teaches him about revelations. Nice. Hysterically, unlike everybody else who captures revelations on their phone, Saejima doesn't have a phone and doesn't understand how to use phones, even if he had one. So the master instead gives him a hammer and chisel, and anytime Saejima finds a revelation, he pulls a log out of his pocket and fully carves, like, statues of whatever he saw.
Right.
Amazing.
Sadly, all of his revelations are ass, or I would have a picture.
He's not moved very far up, but I have put him a little bit further up the mountain for part 3 because the logs are fun.
Just inability to use a phone, that goes back down.
The master digging segments are fine. You're either digging for yourself or you're like protect quest fighting off guards while the master digs. And it turns out that he's been digging through war era air raid bunkers, and you keep finding martial arts manuals. And then you find out your pickaxe isn't strong enough. You're meant to go get a better one, and I forgot to ever return to this side quest, so that's where we're leaving it. If somebody wants to go into the comments below and tell me what the fuck happens at the end of the side quest, I don't actually remember. I forgot to ever come back to this.
What's his name? Ken.
Oh no, this is the master. Don't Google things.
Oh, I want to look up Master's treasure. What's the treasure serpent in the end?
Because he'll come back in as 8 as an overarching villain.
The treasure is the friends we made along the way.
Right, sure.
And also broken ribs.
What's the treasure, Chase?
I don't remember!
That's a lore dump where there's no lore!
This is the first.
Saejima goes to leave the sewer because everybody in this series has ADHD brain like me and forgets!
I want the Saejima bit to be over now.
He finds that the sewers are also a bit of a homeless camp, and while he's down there, he meets a new series regular, an environmentalist who will buy trash in exchange for points. Recycling. Yay. Cool.
Okay, good. Yeah.
We can recycle in these games now.
Phenomenal. That's just what they were missing.
Part 3, and Saejima is yet to meet Majima.
Finally, from the homeless in the sewer, we are able to learn all about this mysterious informant. It seems that it's some guy that we've never heard of called the Florist.
We've had to learn who he is about 8 times.
And he's called the Florist because he gives us information on cards in floral bouquets.
Thank you, Chase.
But no one knows where he is currently. He used to have a bougie headquarters. And it seems that after every earth-shattering event in Kamurocho, he uproots his headquarters.
Yes.
Which hysterically only once was an actual move. The other one was like he moved down a floor underneath his desk. He dug a hole under his desk.
Surely he's just back under Kamurocho Hills after all this time.
Rumor is that you can get through his hideout through the back of the public restroom in West Park.
Yeah.
So he's not moved at all from Yakuza 3. Nice. Goal set. Remember, Saejima has 0 time to waste on anything. He needs answers. Answers that can only be found slamming out some homers at the batting cages. Am I right, my lads? Baseball is actually enormously important to Saejima as a character. He loves his baseball. It reminds him of the good old days.
Yeah.
Beating guys' heads in.
A load taken off. Saejima continues onward, but not before quickly finding out what appears to be a public beating happening on the street. An older Yakuza is sat knelt, while a younger one...
Is there not just like posters of Majima's face up everywhere? Like he leads like a big construction
How many construction businesses do you know where you know the guy's face?
Yakuza 2, when he announced it, there was the big "We're hiring" sign which had Majima's face on it. And all of his goons.
That was ages ago.
Oh, so he's not still hiring, okay.
Okay, there's the whole side quest that I'm skipping because it's stupid. Where he basically is like... He meets some Yakuza. One's like an old school Yakuza, one's like new school. The new school doesn't like fighting, he just likes money. And he's like a finance... white collar crime, and Saejima was like, "That's not how the Yakuza are meant to be. We're meant to kill people." And then he teaches the man that actually you should respect your elders.
Right.
I fucking hate this guy.
And you should let your elders beat up people in the street.
I thought this was gonna be the curator episode.
I thought this was gonna be like the really cute guy where we were gonna learn to love the. Oh, anyway, sorry. So adding to the sin list, teaches young Yakuza to kill.
Not to kill. Just
To value how good killing is.
Well, not to kill, just that you should allow Yakuza to beat people up because then that will protect him doing his white collar crime. Yeah. The violent Yakuza are there to protect the white collar Yakuza.
Okay, I'm going to keep teaches young
Because
Yakuza to
Yakuza
value
are-
killing. And he is moving back down the mountain. The log hasn't saved him, I'm afraid.
While continuing through the city, we pass through the underground mall where we get pickpocketed by a small boy.
Kill him.
We chase him down through the parking garage, ultimately cornering him and getting our money back. After learning that he's pickpocketing because his dad is gone, Saejima takes him back to his hideout for a chat. Saejima, why are you taking a small child into a hideout underground?
Yeah.
Who questions? We learn that the boy's name is Tadashi, which also, look how bougie his hideout is.
Yeah.
They just kind of kept everything from also the super edgy poster.
So this is like Hamazaki's hideout, is it? That's
No, Hatsushiba's.
Hatsushiba.
At least before Akiyama kicked Hatsushiba out.
Gotcha.
Hamazaki is dead.
Yeah, I thought it was more like, when you get back to the mainland, here my note is an address. Use that as my hideout, but I forgot.
No. He found this from Kido.
Cool.
After Akiyama gave it to Kido instead of the homeless.
Very bougie.
Yeah, so Tadashi, his parents are dead. And he was meant to go to an orphanage, but the only orphanage is down in Okinawa, so there's nowhere for him to go. But because he had a surviving relative, his uncle, he was sent to live with his uncle with his sister Akiko. But their uncle doesn't take care of them, and he sold Akiko to a debt collector as collateral for his dad's debts, totaling 5 million yen. Right. So Tadashi had to get into pickpocketing to try and make the money back to buy back his sister.
What the fuck?
Yeah. This is grim. Dark. So dark.
Saejima gets the feeling, he has a sister of his own. His younger sister, Yasuko, who is not his colleague, that's his younger sister.
Interesting. Okay,
Yasuko.
Yasuko.
Partner, so.
But because of his choices in life, he can't see her anymore. Their parents also died young, and Yasuko means the world to him. But he was just a kid punking over his head, and it wasn't long before the cops hauled him in, separated them. That's when a kind adult stepped in, made it so that they got to live together again. Saejima tried to thank him, but in return he was told to save his thanks, just grow up and be the kind of person who doesn't look away when somebody's in trouble, who extends his helping hand. So he's willing to go up to bat for Tadashi and his sister. He tells Tadashi to take him to the debt collector, thinking to himself how it's time to take what Sasai-san taught him and pay it forward.
Right.
So Sasai saved him off the streets.
Got you. Did a Kazuma.
Yeah.
Kind of. Minus the orphanage. And the killing his parents.
Yeah, oh, that's a crucial part. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That's like pretty core
Step one.
No, don't forget, Kazuma made his own orphans.
Tadashi takes him to the office of the loan shark Tadakoro. Saejima plows through the slug of chump until he reaches the man himself, telling him that he's taking over Tadashi's debt. From now, Tadakoro deals with him. But Tadakoro is coy, saying that his agreement with Tadashi for his sister's return stipulated that either the payment of the 5 mil or services rendered. But with a new payee, he's not accepting cash anymore. Saejima is going to work for him now. And that's fine with Saejima. Saejima's a workhorse. As they leave, Tadashi is worried, saying how he thinks that he's going to be made to do some pretty bad stuff, but Saejima chuckles, saying, that's fine, I'm a pretty bad guy.
Oh, self-aware bump.
But remember that there's nothing bad in the world except for turning your back on somebody in need.
Right. Yeah.
Everything else is fine.
Yeah.
Every single other thing.
Absolutely.
He tells Tadashi to head back to the hideout. He lives there now. The time being, Saejima's going to work.
How far underground is this hideout?
Uh-huh.
How far underground is this hideout?
Oh, it's just like a basement.
This child
it's just
never seeing the sun.
The work begins as Tadakoro sends him to work as a bouncer at the Dragon Palace. We learned that while Purgatory was being redeveloped, this was originally constructed as a place to move the homeless and for them to come gamble against each other. But over time, became more of a full-fledged casino. Saejima chills out around the tables, watching the games, and if anybody causes a scene, he bounces them.
Yeah, nice. Is that a knife that just next to someone's head?
Oh yeah, about a centimeter from the head. Classic. We realized over the course of the night that the place is surprisingly on the level. A lot of the staff are employed homeless, and whilst it's certainly an illegal casino, unlike those typically run by the Yakuza, they don't appear to be cheating. I have a note that this seems odd, as if Tadakoro's gonna be a good guy. Tadakoro's not a good guy. This goes nowhere. Coming back from the casino, Tadakoro gives us our next job. We're to be a bodyguard for a certain individual and deliver him to a specified location. Ooh, specific.
Love escort missions.
So we meet the individual at the Millennium Tower and take him through town towards West Park, fighting baddies in suits and sunglasses as we go. We try to find out some info about the guy, like why would he warrant a hit?
Why would he ask him? It seems very out of character for him to care who this guy is. Yeah, he seems like a fundamentally incurious.
He's like, you seem like a random dude. Why the fuck are people trying to kill you? But he's like, I can't tell you. That's going to invalidate my contract. Right. So we get to the drop-off location. And it's Tadakoro's here to collect him. It's the same guy who Tadakoro dropped him off, now he's here to collect him. And then he's like, you never needed to protect this guy. This guy was a rando. Actually, he owed debt to me. He was one of my clients, and I made you protect him for nothing. Well, actually, not for nothing. They were actually protecting somebody else on the other side of town, and Saejima was just a distraction.
Okay.
Decoys.
Sweet.
So Saejima heads back to the hideout to find Tadashi asleep, mumbling about his sister. And he kind of thinks back about how Yasuko was around Tadashi's age when he beat the piss out of their relative and they began living on their lonesome. She used to mutter his name in her sleep as well. Before long, another of Tadakoro's subordinates show up to deliver our next assignment, to chase out the undesirables who are squatting in the building down Nakamichi Alley. There's around 30 of them in total, and additionally, Tadakoro would like them to apprehend the ringleader. He'll get a cool 1 mil towards Tadashi's debt if he does. He readies to leave, but as he goes, he hears Tadashi's voice, asking if he's really going to take that job. He says nothing, and he proceeds to go take that job. Telling him to skedaddle, just kick the homeless out of the building. Brilliant. Good guy Saejima.
Does he do that?
Yeah.
Right, okay, back down the mountain.
He tells him to skedaddle, but they want a going away present, so he tells them to shut the fuck up. My fist in your face is all you freeloaders deserve.
Further down.
Yeah. Well, I can't boom below Haruka here, and he's got already pretty far down now. Yeah.
To be fair, Broken Jaws are lovely going away presents.
Did you write that? Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Proud of that, are you?
I am. I'm proud of all my little quips.
You should be, Chase.
Thank you. I put effort, legitimate effort. And the effort being whatever my little brain thinks of at the time. He heads up to the roof, clobbering and apprehending their leader Hayase and bringing him down conveniently right as Tadakoro and his subordinate arrive. The man takes Hayase back to their office while leaving Saejima alone with Tadakoro. He wants to know why Saejima's doing all this for a perfect stranger like Tadashi, but Saejima made a promise, man to man, and that's all he needs. Not that he thinks Tadakoro, of all people, would understand.
Is he sort of giving up on finding out about Majima?
I was going to say, what does this have to do with his overall plan?
He's really focused here.
Right.
He's really focused. But understand that Tadakoro says that he does, saying that he can see that any further questioning is just not going to get anything out of Saejima. Yeah. So Saejima gets bored of tasks and decides that it might be time to go find the florist.
Right.
So he goes to the toilet in West Park.
Yeah.
And he goes to the back door and he reaches for the handle, but it's locked. It's locked. God damn it.
Surprise.
So he jiggles it, he shakes it, before finally putting the entirety of his power and rips it open.
Yeah. What?
Oh, yes, I've seen this picture.
Yakuza fans will presumably know we're being shown a gif of him ripping open the door to the toilet and there being a poor salaryman on the toilet who turns around and gives a sort of the scream.
Yeah. His jaw opens like 180 degrees. I don't know what to do with this. It's so upsetting. It's body horror shit. It's really horrible.
It's even better because it's one of those like Japanese squat toilets. So he's not even like sat or anything. He's like squat over the ground, just pants around his ankle.
To be fair, that's probably what my face would look like if someone walked in on me.
Saejima does not even look at this man, just walking straight past him to the back door.
Can we move him off the screen soon?
It's so uncomfortable.
Which annoyingly, the back door.
It's just playing on a loop, everyone.
And annoyingly, the back door is also locked. And as bulging as Saejima's muscles are, that one isn't going to budge for him.
Oh,
great.
Okay.
So this was a waste of time.
He goes to leave. Pause.
Where's the next slide? I can't keep looking at this.
James!
Does he apologize?
He goes.
Why didn't the guy inside say there's someone in here when he was rattling away? Why is he surprised that, like, this toilet door's locked? What could be happening? Because he's been inside for a long time.
He goes to leave, pausing at the door, before kind of like stopping and like kind of like over his shoulder going, "My bad," and leave, deciding that there's no getting through the back door. This is an entirely dead end of a lead. He never tries to get into West Park again.
Toilet rudeness. Add that to the list.
I was actually going to put him up the mountain for apologizing.
Oh, wait, no. Toilet rudeness.
Toilet rudeness.
So he decides that this is a full dead end. He's never getting past that one door, and he needs new information.
Right.
Taiga Saejima is the worst character in the Yakuza franchise, Chase. I'm waiting. You hate Daigo Dojima and not this thing?
What has Daigo ever done?
Okay, come on. We've got like a part and a half to go here. This
is just like, he's just the Terminator. Like, walking around just doing things. Like, awful thing. Okay.
He wanders the town and while near the hotel district, comes across two men in workers' coveralls. They're talking to each other about a sketchy manhole. Saying...
Innuendo.
We're 5 years old. Saying how they can hear noises coming from beyond...
So we're thinking about the sexual implications, but in reality what that is it's Majima down there planning his next scheme. He's going to pop out any minute now.
There's a sketchy manhole and they're saying they're hearing noises from beyond the blocked off area. Footprints too. Foot fetish. Oddly enough though, the footprints don't seem to be workers' boots, but rather dress shoes? Oh, come on. What are dressed up folk doing in a sewer? He heads over to another workman.
Probably.
He heads over to another workman, overhearing him as he says, "So that was the florist of Sai." What a perfectly convenient statement for us, for our needs right now.
Yeah.
Saejima goes over, threatening him for more info. Please cut me some slack. Around here, a slip of the tongue could cost a guy, well, his tongue. The guy tells us that while working on a manhole at the children's park, he found a subterranean pleasure district where only the rich and elite were allowed. He had always thought it was just an urban legend, and there it was. See, he was taking a nap, and then he saw him, the florist himself. Followed him down a tunnel, but lost him at a door. He couldn't get it to budge. He heads over, having to beat off a bunch of punks who want us to pay a toll to enter their hole.
Yeah, thank you.
So he rips their holes wide open and climbs deep inside. Inside the hole,
ruined it.
inside the hole, he finds another homeless encampment. And wandering through, we find absolutely zero tunnel or door, but we do find Purgatory. It's back again.
Every game so far, right?
Every game, yeah. It's still buzzing with life. After Majima brought it back, he seemingly just kept it.
Colosseum going strong.
And it's buzzing with life that Saejima has no time for as he makes a beeline straight for the palace at the end, entering to find someone already waiting for him. Oh, I'm sad to get rid of this gif. Sat in his chair in front of his beloved fish. And of course, with his nips out to the world, is our favorite plot convenience, the Florist of Sai.
There he is, Mr. Plot.
And he's been waiting for Saejima since he began his search for him. And he has the intel he wants, but it's not going to come cheap. 10 million yen. If only there was a loan shark that would help with that. Yeah. Obviously, the florist knows Saejima doesn't have any money, but he does know that he has beautiful, bulging, rippling muscles. Perfect for the only type of gameplay that the florist knows how to give out. So, of course, we're going down there for the 3,632nd Kamurocho Coliseum tournament! Standard Coliseum fare. He fights like two random dudes, and then he fights the current champion, Ivan Ibrahimovic, who actually seemingly has become like the florist's personal bodyguard, I guess. Just big old Russian dude, real ripped. And it's a fight to the death. No draws, no mercy. And unlike Kazuma Kiryu, Saejima has no issues with killing.
Oh, yeah.
Or, maybe he does. Because despite actually definitely leaving Ibrahimovic with debilitating mental injuries, he refuses to kill him. The crowd is fuming, getting to their feet, chanting, "Kill him! Kill him! Kill him!"
Who are these people?
They're like, "You already killed 18 poor saps. What's the problem adding one more?" One, I guess from their table, throws a sword into the arena, landing it at his feet. And the florist kind of leans forward in his chair like, "What you gonna do, Saejima?" With a cruel smile like spreading over his face. Saejima picks up the sword, unsheathing it. And the crowd goes wild. They swell until up in a great crescendo, Saejima throws the sword away, telling them to shut their fucking holes. The crowd dies down instantly, with an increasingly awkward tone settling across all of them.
And the background is your mom gonna go, "Boo!"
Which one of you lunatics said killing a guy is no big deal? He picks people from the audience. Was it you? Or you? You sit up there chanting kill, kill, kill. But how many of you have taken a life with your own two hands? They all hang their heads, the shame starting to get to them. Fucking hyenas. Let me fill you in on something. Killing another man, watching them breathe their last breath. Tears begin to fall from Saejima's cheeks as his typically strong expression crumbles. It's a fucking nightmare. It's been 25 years since that day, but I still remember it crystal clear. Every night I dream of those 18 guys, my fists bashing their heads in, the sound of bones cracking, the screams, the fear on their dying faces. I've been reliving it every single day. And think about how their families felt. It must have been mortifying, but that remorse, it's nothing next to the real horror. Once you snuff out a life, there's no escaping the dread of what you did. Day in, day out, I gotta relive that bloodbath. Any of you got a fucking idea what that's like? He looks over to the florist. This tournament's a crock of shit. I'm out. Chapter 4. Oath of Brotherhood.
Just something on that, because I've been thinking about it recently for regarding a game that we will one day cover, and regarding kind of regretting the terrible things that you do, is that there is a difference between finding redemption and regret, which I don't think you can. I don't think you can be redeemed just through regret. And like wallowing in that regret, I don't think that's the path to redemption. It's a step to take to move forwards, but it isn't enough to redeem a character to say that they regret and wallow in the bad things they do. It's just notable for me because I've been thinking about a particular game that we're going to cover soon, and how it handles that so well.
I think it's interesting in this series in particular to have a character actually express regret for it when you've got Kiryu doesn't kill Ha, but you've got like Kiryu and Majima sort of skipping and whistling their way through as they sort of massacre legions of like low.
Kiryu has never massacred anyone. He does not kill.
Not according to the comments.
Chapter 4, Oath of Brotherhood. Saejima storms from the Colosseum, but the florist follows after, stopping him, saying how he knew Saejima wasn't just another psychopath. It was all a test. He was never meant to kill Ivan. Besides, death sport, bad business. He's basically like, if you'd killed him, I wouldn't have helped you. But you didn't, so you're getting your info.
Risky gamble.
Yep. So he leads Saejima back to his mansion, telling him what he wanted to know. Where Sasai is. Seems that after the hit back in 85, the Ueno Seiwa put a hit out on him, forcing him into hiding. But several months later, he was coincidentally brought right down here to Purgatory, barely hanging on to his life. He'd been living on the streets since then, homeless, but still in Kamurocho. That said, he warns, Sasai likely isn't the man that Saejima remembers. But that said, he'll arrange for him to be brought over, so he gives a call. Before much time passes, one of the florist's men arrives, escorting the elderly Sasai. He's dirty and frail, his clothes falling off him, barely able to stand even with his cane. He's barely able to speak.
Oh, I thought he was dead. My bad. I crossed him out.
So everyone listening along, Sasai, completely sort of grey, big grey beard, a wee old man, really.
Boss, you look like those homeless people that I beat up about 5 minutes ago for just existing, I guess.
Yeah.
I did bring him up the mountain a little bit, Saejima, because he, quote, didn't chop a man's head off, I guess. So
That's a good one. That's a good one.
It's not a moral act.
How is this mountain working, especially with a ballpoint pen?
I'm trying to figure out whether or not he's going to heaven or hell. So we've got Haruka, so right to the bottom. Then we got the log. I really liked the log. It's not a moral act, but I just enjoyed it. Then he kidnapped Kido. That brings him back down. He did help a child, or is in the process of helping a child, so that brings him up. Kicked homeless people out of home, that brought him right back down, and he didn't chop a man's head off, I guess, so I brought him back up a little bit. But he's not really clean.
Largely still going to hell, but, about to get to Purgatory.
Yeah, maybe.
Something.
He's just been in Purgatory. Oh, got him.
Oh, wow, fuck you.
That's a Yakuza pun.
Anyway. The florist looks over at Sasai. Do you know who brought Sasai down here? Half dead a quarter century ago? It was Goro Majima. Which, we're going to ignore the plot holes about how Majima, back in Yakuza 2, did not know what Purgatory looked like.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So we're just going to ignore that plot hole here. Because technically that was in the Majima chapter, the Majima side story, so we're going to just think that those writers had never played Yakuza 4. Saejima is shocked. The florist continuing that he assumes Majima was trying to protect him from the Ueno Seiwa after Saejima had gone. Saejima rushes to his boss's side, trying to get him to talk, reassuring him that he's here, he's home. But all he gets back from the old man is pained groans, not a word. Even healed by the florist's doctors, he's barely hanging on to life, a mere shadow of his former self. No matter what Saejima says, he won't get a response. Please, boss, it's me! It's Saejima! He pleads with his old boss, holding him delicately by the shoulders, tears welling up in his eyes. Sasai's raise, just slightly. Saejima. The florist's eyes go wide, with Saejima once more unable to hold back the tears as he wraps the old man in a bear hug. How did it come to this? Why? Why? They lead Sasai away, questionably back to wherever he's not living.
Bed, I guess, somewhere. Yeah.
Florist is sat here in a marble tower, and he's like... They lead Sasai away, Saejima thanking the florist for letting him see his old boss once more. Now, he only has one thing left to do. He needs to know the truth, straight from his brother's mouth. Has he spent half his life behind bars for nothing? He needs to know. The florist warns Saejima before he goes that the police are hot on his trail following his little prison break. They've gotten wind that he was in Kamurocho, and the city's crawling with cops. The most annoying fucking gameplay. He warns him to lay low, underground wherever possible. Head back to the hideout and spend some time there until things cool off a bit. On his... for fuck's sake. On his way back, Saejima gets a job at the Sodachi Dojo, training his young apprentices for very public and very above-ground tournaments. This is a full...
It's a full dojo
management training game. You need to balance their stamina, their mood, their trust, their power, their speed, their technique. Through various exercises, you give them training schedule. There's dojo funds so you can upgrade the dojo so you can get new exercises.
Do you get anything from this? Is this money?
I don't even know.
What's the name of the little boy that he's helping?
Tadashi.
Does he enroll?
No.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a real shame, actually. I thought that'd be fun.
He's not going to teach that child violence. That child needs family.
Just the other child.
Just the other child.
Just the other children.
What children is he teaching violence?
These children.
That's a grown man.
Is it?
That man's like 32.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was like a 10-year-old.
No.
Yeah.
He's like 32. That's Hideo Sugiyama. Obviously. Come on, get it right.
Good for you, Sugiyama.
He then proceeds to decide that the stewards are stinky and gross, and he goes back to his hideout almost Okay, fuck it.
Couldn't the Florist of Sai just like call Majima? I'd be like, yo, can you come here for a minute?
When has the Florist of Sai ever convened about anything? Ever. Yeah, so the sewers are stinky and gross, so he goes back basically exclusively via the roofs, where he also happens to find Kamiyama has broken out of prison after Saejima did, and he's now on the roofs in Kamurocho, opening a new weapons workshop.
Oh, the Weapon Man.
The Weapon Man.
Yes.
Yeah, apparently a few other people broke out in kind of the wake of Saejima and Hamazaki's prison break. So, sure. But he's like small fry, so he's like, oh, they're going to come after you, not me. They're priorities. Oh, okay. This section of the game is also just straight up ass in terms of gameplay. Because basically the cops are everywhere, and if they catch you, it's game over. So you basically only have specific routes that you can travel through, which basically means you are constantly going from roof to floor to sewer to roof to floor. And it's like you basically can't go anywhere in a straight path. So if you want to get from like here to here, you need to go through like a snake of fire. It's ass.
Very frustrating.
It's very ass.
I understand the concept.
I understand the concept, but it's not fun. Saejima finally makes it back to the hideout, but walks in to chaos. The homeless men lie in heaps on the floor. And sat at the desk waiting for Saejima is our second favorite psychopath, Minami!
Hey! Oh, cool. Okay. I'm glad this guy's getting more screen time.
He introduces himself as Majima family, getting an immediate defensive reaction from Saejima, but he reassures him that he's just here to meet him.
Majima must be terrified if he is sending his goons to meet this guy first. Like, he must be shitting himself. He's like, go suss out how he's doing.
Oh, I don't think so. I disagree. No? I don't think Majima's scared of Saejima at all.
Oh.
I think he's just...
Well, why has he not come to meet him himself then? Surely he wants to meet up with his old sworn brother.
He got his reasons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's just here to meet him, and he's like, Gramps and his other lame-ass friends just jumped me. That's why they're dead on the floor. Because it's their fault. Obviously. Anyway, the boss wants to see Saejima. Says to meet him at the office tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
That is at the Millennium Tower. So basically, the Majima family has taken over what used to be the Cosmo family office on the penthouse floor of the Millennium Tower.
Okay.
We have taken a quick break to eat some pizza, and I just want to quickly point out that Chase has changed into... No, don't worry, I'm not going to talk about Chase's Robbie Williams rant. That will be for another day. It's Chase is now wearing a hoodie.
It's comfy.
Yes, so...
I'm frequently wearing hoodies during these. I'm usually recording these in my pajamas.
I'm especially looking forward to you telling us all about the big, brutal, macho, scary men who kill each other while wearing your hoodie. So, continue.
I mean, I've done the past 4 games like that. So, the boss wants to see Saejima. Says to meet him at the office tomorrow night. That is the Millennium Tower. He's kind of moved up into what used to be the Cosmo family office. So, that penthouse office in the tower. Although, fair warning, knowing the boss, he's probably got some fucked up shit waiting for him on the top floor. Best be prepared. Message delivered. Minami goes to leave, but Saejima stops him. Give Majima a message for me. He best have some damn good answers ready. If not, he's getting his shit kicked in. Foot straight up the asshole.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Compound it in the rectum. Minami laughs. You think you can go all medieval on the boss man?
What's happened? Minami!
I see Minami's like a redneck.
Pick an accent!
You think you can go all medieval on the boss man? No dig, but he'll straight up kill you.
Does Minami sing karaoke in that accent?
No, it's very classical, very broad.
It was when you did the what was her name? Was she the police officer? You kept launching into these really serious bits, like fucking I don't know, like what's the big chicken called?
I do. Yeah. What's it called? That's gonna annoy me.
Looney Tunes.
The big Looney Tunes cartoon.
Oh god, I do know.
Southern Foghorn Leghorn. Foghorn. I say. Yeah.
So
what a great character.
Majima's gonna kill Saejima. The next morning, Kido stops by and saying that the city is still swarming with cops. If Saejima lays low till night, he'll scope out the best route to the tower, which of course means cops everywhere. While you go try to do side quests. So Saejima heads out for a smoke to clear his head, sighing as he's joined by remember Tadakoro? He's back. Where his subordinate is, at least. Saejima was like, can we meet in public? And his subordinate's like, I don't think you want to discuss the jobs in front of the boy, right? They want him to take care of a certain individual. Saejima flat declines. He's like, I don't kill. Not my dig. Not what I do. But the subordinate's like, oh, no, we don't need you to kill him. We just need him to be beaten to shit to the point where he's gonna leave town and never come back. Although if you do kill him, no skin off our back.
That sounds doable.
When he arrived on the scene, Tadakuro, right? Tadakuro. Yeah. I did write next to his name, Plot Man, ? Thinking he's going to bring the plot. I've changed that. I've scored out and I've now written no dumb shit jobs guy. Just lay low and let's jump ahead to meeting Majima, please.
How many more dumb shit jobs guys do we have to meet before we get to this Majima confrontation?
Every game has one.
Majima is not real. Yeah, I think you've made up Majima, actually. So the target's name is Toshinori Motoyama. A name that Saejima actually seems to recognize. Seems that he used to be a Yakuza captain, but now he's just merely a very strong wanderer and a nuisance to Tadakoro. The subordinate terms walking away.
It was the Sasai family Tojo clan. That's where Motoyama was from.
The subordinate looks back with a coy smile. Is that so? Interesting that you should know that.
Saejima, strong southern contingent here.
Saejima heads to the hotel district, almost instantly being spotted and recognized by Motoyama, who rushes him, going straight into a tirade about what is he thinking shooting up who in his family, where's Sasai-san. So clearly the entire Sasai family blamed Saejima for them all falling apart. Jesus. Saejima tries to calm him, but he's enraged, going on about how the whole thing must have been a setup. The family was dissolved, the Shibata family got promoted, and they lost everything, and it's Saejima's fault. It takes some tough love smashed into his heart, but Majima manages to calm Motoyama, sitting him down, telling him about Sasai, and about how he's, not dead, he's still about, finally giving him some closure. He apologizes, recognizing that Saejima was just a kid, in way over his head back then, just like he was. He's gonna skip town, feel like his demons have finally left him. He tells Saejima that Kamurocho has been his prison his whole life, but Saejima, he broke free from prison, which I have a note a bit more literally. Haha. What does it feel like, breathing free for the first time in a quarter century? Saejima grimaces, saying that honestly, he still ain't used to it. Like a ghost visiting from the past, but it ain't all bad. He's managed to make some new friends. He might be on the run, but he isn't lonely anymore, and that's good enough. People are what make people happy. You're not in this alone, Aniki. If things get rough out there, don't lose it. Just come on back to Kamurocho, back to your family. I don't think there is any more Sasai family there. Not really sure what he's on about, but a nice sentiment. He sees Motoyama off, heading back to the hideout to report in to Tadakoro's subordinate. He heads in, he's ready for a nap, but god fucking damn it, Tadakoro is in the fucking building, we can never rest, and he has another job. But then Tadashi shows up. And Saejima is like, hold down the fort. But no. Actually, Tadakoro wants Tadashi to come on this one.
So Saejima says no.
No, because Tadashi's like, I'm cool with that. So Saejima's like, cool, if you're cool with it. So he takes him to the Colosseum. saying that Tadakura will bring Tadashi along and Saejima can meet him there.
Why is he going up?
Sorry, yeah, thank you. He's going back down the mountain for taking a child on a hit. Whether he's going to beat up someone or kill.
He's not on a hit. He's going to the Coliseum.
Right, what's he going to do the Coliseum?
And Tadakura's like, I'll bring Tadashi. You can come meet us there. Not really sure why, because, they go at the same time. But, and Saijima's like, I'm not fucking leaving Tadashi with you. And Tadakura's like, remember who you fucking work for, you piece of shit. So Tadashi promises that he'll be fine. So with less than a subtle threat from Saejima to Tadakura to keep him safe, they head off. And then immediately get there together. Why they went separately, who the fuck knows? Tadakura tells Saejima that he's going to be competing.
I'm losing the thread. Where's Goro Majima?
Right, no, he's helping the little boy buy back his sister right now.
Yeah.
Tadakura, did you forget about the sister?
Forgot about the sister.
This is a quest line about sisterhood.
So he can get this little boy out of his basement.
Yeah, because there's parallels between him and his actual sister or something. Yeah, okay.
Tadakura tells him that he's going to be competing in a special tourney, one typically allowing weapons, but Saejima needs to win it without weapons. Sure, fine, why is it good here? And Tadakura laughs, saying that this is educational. He wants Tadashi to see his oh-so-generous benefactor putting his life on the line to pay his debts. Saejima is going to be lucky if he gets out of this tournament having lost only a limb or two. What can happen if you burden a trusted friend with your own financial obligations? Tadashi may be a child, but he has a responsibility to see the answer to that question. It may be sick and twisted, but consider it Tadakura's personal philosophy. Also, if Saejima wins, they can consider the debt paid and Tadashi's sister will be returned. Yay!
I actually agree. I think what Tadashi's been missing is a lesson in the harsh realities of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will score that out because it's not necessarily fair.
Okay,
Tadakura was really put him into a corner.
Yeah.
So that's not quite a descent back to hell. He's still early stages in hell.
So Saejima quickly slams through the 3 rounds, only to find Tadakura and Tadashi nowhere to be found upon leaving. Only his subordinate, who fucking won't tell Saejima where he is, so he gets punched in his smug fucking face finally. He freaks out, saying that Saejima is too powerful. Tadakura wanted a puppet that he could string along, but Saejima's too wild, too powerful to be used. The tournament was supposed to get him killed, to tie up a loose end, but, yeah, he wasn't meant to survive that. So Saejima rushes out of purgatory, exiting through the children's park manhole and finding Tadakura and Tadashi. Saejima once answers, meow, and he said that he was going to free Tadashi's sister. Well, I lied! Yeah! Come any closer and I'll wring the brat's neck.
I'm sure it's going to go well for this guy, because he's about 2 feet away from us, with one hand loosely over the child.
He laughs. So a hired killer who slaughtered 18 Yakuza in cold blood has a soft spot for a little orphan boy.
This wasn't his voice 5 minutes ago.
I think they say that's the key to voice acting. Keep it fresh by updating a character's accent every other scene. Yeah.
Saejima moves closer to him with a, I got room on that list for 19.
Here, boyo, don't you come any closer.
I got room on that list for 19. I can do Saejima in a bad Irish accent for the rest of this.
I meant Tadakura.
Anyway, Tadakura finally breaks, revealing that Tadashi's sister, hey, he doesn't actually have her anymore. He pawned her off to the Yakuza ages ago. He's known her this whole time. Also for $3 million, not even like the entire time. There never was a debt. That was paid off ages and ages ago with the insurance money that came in when Tadashi's dad died. He may be a piece of shit, but he's a rich piece of shit. He says that about himself. He also reveals that the only reason Tadashi's dad was in it to begin with was because he conned his dad into 5 million yen of debt.
Stop confessing. It's bad enough. You didn't have to confess all that stuff. You ruined my family!
Oh. Tadashi kicks Tadakura hard in the shin, breaking away and running behind Saejima. Tadakura bolts off, Saejima in hot pursuit. He grabs a bottle from the floor and hurls it at the back of Tadakura's head, glass shattering on impact, and then he drags him by the leg from the ground, picking him up. Tadakura freaks out, trying to buy off Saejima, and trying to place the blame on Tadashi's father. But, if he's going to act like a child, Saejima's ready to give him a nice hard spanking. Now, with a thoroughly red bottom, Tadakoro tells Saejima that through tears that he sold Akiko to the Takasu family, so we have our next target.
Okay, we've not heard of these guys before.
New family.
Okay.
Is that one we need to remember?
No.
Okay.
They'll be done within 5 minutes. I'll be straight up with you. Tadashi goes off running the second that he hears that, shouting that he can rescue Akiko on his own! He's a moron, but his heart's in the right place.
Yeah, he's a little baby Kiryu.
Saejima chases after him, catching up just in time to see him thrown out the door of the Takasu family like a rugby ball. But no, my good fellow. We don't treat children like that, or the big scary hitman gonna bash your pretty little nose in. So, bash. Saejima gets down to Tadashi's level, telling him how there's a difference between courage and recklessness. He's really full of lessons. He really wants to teach people how to be a man. He tells Tadashi that when he was 12 when his parents died. I was actually serious. He tells Tadashi that he was 12 when his parents died, and he and his sister Yasuko were sent to live with family. Well, he says family, but like 8 times removed. Granted, they did treat them well, but they were never able to escape the feeling that they were imposing. So they left. But Saejima was still a kid. He wasn't able to get an honest job. But it's okay as long as he still had his sister smiling beside him. But one time, Yasuko got real sick. Runaways don't get health insurance. Would have cost an arm and a leg for the surgery in a hospital room. They were barely surviving. Couldn't get a loan. So Saejima got desperate, started walking the streets, picking fights with anyone over nothing. It was the only thing that could make him feel like he could forget everything else. But one day, he picked the wrong fight. The guy who was old enough to be his dad just up and beat the crap out of him. He started crying, thinking how pathetic, how miserable he was. And that man was Sai. He saw Saejima and asked why was he crying, and Saejima, the kid who tried to kick his ass, wound up spilling his guts about him and Yasuko, blubbering about her illness. So Sai placed a hand on his head, telling him, "You've come a long way, boy. Fought hard on your own." And he took care of everything. Got Yasuko into the hospital, even paid for her surgery. You know, when Saejima first met Tadashi, he reminded him of when he was younger. And if you could pay that kindness forward to someone in a position like he was, he would in a heartbeat. Because he's a really good guy. He gets up, asking Tadashi if he's ready to rescue his sister. No matter what it takes. Well, he's got his back through anything. So Tadashi smiles. "Thanks, Uncle Suzuki." Oh yeah, he also told this kid the fake name. So he smiles back going, "It's Saejima. My real name, it's Taiga Saejima. Thanks, Uncle Taiga." They head in, and through the power of sibling love, absolutely clobber the living fuck out of the men. They try to head into the boss's office, with Saejima introducing Tadashi and telling the boss that Tadashi would like a moment of his time. Tadashi steps up to Takasu, telling him that he knows that his sister's here somewhere. Takasu's eyes go wide. "So you're Akiko's..." But before he can finish the thought, "Stop!" A young girl runs out, getting between Takasu and the others. "Don't do anything bad to Uncle Tatsuya." Wait, she looks fine. Why is she fine? They all sit down at the table. Takasu chuckling about how it was all a misunderstanding. Some wires must have gotten crossed. And Saejima's like, "Oh gosh, I'm real sorry. I'm real sorry, sir, for the whole confusion."
Chase, was this whole side quest a complete waste of time?
Ish. But Takasu is fine. He knows that all of this bullshit was Tadakoro's fault. Besides, it's a good lesson for his men to realize that there's always bigger fish. Takasu turns his attention to Tadashi, introducing himself as Tatsuya Takasu, the one who has been taking care of Akiko as her adoptive parent.
Right.
Akiko tells Tadashi that when Uncle Tatsuya took her in, she knew Tadashi would be worried, so she wrote a letter. But their uncle told her that he ran away. She was worried, sick, looked everywhere for him. She's not mad, of course. She knew that he was going to a lot of trouble for her sake. Tadashi introduces Saejima to his sister, the both of them thanking him for everything, for bringing them back together again, and he laughs, telling them to let up, making me embarrassed here. Saejima turns to Takasu, telling him that, asking what led to him adopting Akiko to begin with. Takasu tells Saejima that him and his wife weren't blessed with children of their own. They wanted to adopt, but their business being what it was and all. But then one day, when stopping by the office of a certain stingy loan shark, he saw Akiko, and when he saw how he was treating her, and he and his wife immediately knew that they needed to take her in and raise her as their own. Akiko says that she was scared at first, hearing that he was a Yakuza, but uncle and auntie were so kind to her, and they actually treat her like their own daughter. Takasu turns back to Tadashi. What do you say, Tadashi-kun? Would you let me adopt you too? That way you could live with Akiko-chan. After all, I've been thinking I'd like to have an heir. Siblings shouldn't live apart.
Okay.
If it's all right with you, won't you join our family?
So I guess is this our first actually nice head of a family? Is this the only one?
We got a few.
Who?
Yakuza 3.
Nice.
Yeah,
Like nice, sweet man.
Yeah,
nice.
what's his face?
Do you not remember his daughter?
Oh yeah, but I mean, in Kamurocho,
I
mainland
agree.
city, bloody Yakuza, he's. But also,
We get a couple side families.
I like the idea that he's like, I would love to have a son, no, an heir to my Yakuza fucking family.
To my empire.
Welcome to the life, kid.
I just can't figure out how Purple Shirt figures into all of this. Where does he come in, Chase?
He's watching.
He's always watching. Purple Shirt.
Tadashi thinks hard before thanking Takasu and declining. He'd love to live with Akiko again, but taking him up on that offer, it'd be like he'd be running away, letting their relatives in the country get away with what they did. Saejima taught him that a real man doesn't run away. He stands his ground and fights back.
Good job, Saejima. This child's going to get shot. Brilliant.
So he's going back to the country house, and once he can support himself, he'll come back to Kamurocho for his sister. And when he grows up, he'll be a police officer. Someone who helps people in trouble.
Do you think Saejima looks at him when he's in that with us?
Literally everyone here being a Yakuza who also helps people.
Yeah.
He's going to be strong, just like the definite cop Saejima. Takasu chuckles, accepting Tadashi's stance, but saying that Akiko is still his sister. Please come by whenever he likes. He apologizes to Akiko, but she shakes her head, smiling, telling him that he's a grown-up. And he's grown up a lot since she last saw him. Saejima's like, are you sure? And he's like, it's fine. She's safe. Even if they're miles apart, they're always going to be family. So Saejima gets up, ready to go. He tells Takasu to take good care of these two, which of course he smiles and agrees to. Then he turns to Tadashi, telling him that he's very glad they met. He helped him remember something real important. Giving him one last smile, he heads off, thinking about how the hideout's going to be real lonely without him.
So we've left those kids with prominent local crime lords.
But he's good! He's a good guy. Look how friendly he is. He's got a friendly face.
He does. We'll give you that. He does, which is quite sweet.
Them giving him the PS2 low poly face makes him look more trustworthy.
Just like his door's just been kicked in by Saejima. Fuck.
I wonder what kind of crime he does do. He looks too friendly for crime.
Yeah.
Orders hits every day.
She's got the eyes of an assassin, however. She will kill someone.
Yeah,
someday.
she's got quite a frightening look.
Jay, serious question.
Yeah.
Do either of these children ever come back? This
No.
feels like build up for like a Dragon.
No. This is just. It was there were things about Saejima's backstory that were only in this side quest.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I did the entire thing instead of just doing what I did with Akiyama's side quest.
Slightly entertaining waste of time.
Oh, this is a side quest. Got you.
Did you think this was main story?
I mean, it's 50-50 with these games.
He was living with him.
Yeah, it's like a core plot
He had the
point.
kid in his basement.
He did. Saejima's bored, so he heads back, telling Kido that, I guess it's time.
Yes.
Kido has cleared the route, but it's still swarming with cops. But still, it's been 25 years. It's time that he learns the truth. He goes to leave, but Kido stops him,
No, Kido.
saying that there's one thing he wants to know before he goes.
Kido, you're supposed to be busy.
No, Kido's just part of Team Saejima now. Kido forgot about Arai.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
That's
Rai.
what he's supposed to be doing.
He's just here spending his money actually like feeding Taiga.
And so much the premise with Arai is like they don't want them to get their hands on Majima.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like maybe don't send someone to Majima that you think might kill him.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, to be fair, if they kill him, They don't have to hand him. Wait, well
Then they definitely get it. Yeah.
Do you think Majima would cut off his own head to save Kamurocho Hills?
I think it would depend on the day of the week.
He almost blew up himself to save Kamurocho Hills.
Yeah, he did.
Is Kiryu present? That's the question. Is he present for the murder?
Kiryu is with his children.
In which case, no, he won't then. He'd ask Kiryu to come.
So he goes to leave, but Kido stops him, saying that there's one thing he wants to know before he goes. Do you ever regret what you did 25 years? I know it was all for your boss, but all that hard time had to make you think. Don't you ever want to take it all back? Saejima turns, asking why he wants to know, with beginning to respond, but stopping himself, simply saying that he had to ask. Saejima looks at him, saying that he thinks that he's planning something big, and starting to get cold feet, getting a conflicted expression. He looks at his hands. Regrets, huh? Couldn't say I don't got 'em. I regret every life these hands stole that day. Eats at my soul non-stop, still. Getting sent to the slammer, doing all that for the boss, I don't regret a speck of that. How were you that strong, Kido asks, almost pleading. But Saejima tells him that it's not strength, just living the life him and his brother chose to lead. That's what being a Yakuza is really about. People think we're criminals or whatever, but every day I'm proud to be a part of something bigger. Honor and duty, that's all it means. If I'd left that day without doing my duty, well, betrayal would have gone up against everything I believe in. That'd be something to really regret. Because this is like the Boy Scouts, you're just part of something bigger. He goes up to Kido, putting a hand on his shoulder. Kido-chan, you gotta go balls out.
He may regret saying this.
I think that's a mistake. Yeah, I have written down next to Kido now. Yeah. What did/will
I
Kido
think
do?
it might be a did.
Yeah, I think he's done something.
You gotta go balls out. You only get one shot at hitting it big, so when the time comes for you to put your life on the line, giving it your all is the only way. No looking back. No regrets. Kido gives him a resolved look, and with a simple yes, sir. Then Saejima wishes him luck, heading out, leaving with Kido bowing respectfully after him. Saejima heads out, again doing a fuck-ass path to the Millennium Tower, and heads in to find a nice, warm welcome from the Majima family. Red carpet really rolled out. Minami tells him that if he's half the man the boss says he is, they're getting their asses handed to him, and he'll like it. Saejima smiles, saying that it's a test then. Well, why not? Let's get a look at what kind of family his bros scraped together. Sadly for Minami and his boys, Majima wasn't a fucking liar, and Saejima beats the shit out of them. But Saejima is pleased, saying how Majima really raised his boys right. Minami ain't ready to throw in the towel, though, beginning to struggle to his feet. But before he can, there's a chime from the hall as an elevator opens. A pair of silver-tipped, crocodile skin boots stepping out. Sorry about the wait, brother.
Oh, he's wearing his proper snakeskin outfit now.
Guess we got a bit of catching up to do. But not here. How about a little stroll? He walks straight past Saejima, with Saejima following him out the front of the tower. His eyes go wide as they head out, as gathered in front of the tower, blocking every inch of the street, are hundreds of Majima family men, all bowing the second Majima exit the tower.
Yeah, folks, anyone listening along, this is crazy. We've got, like, the streets outside Millennium Tower, and there are, probably, like, 300 Yakuza.
This is more than we see when they go to Tojo HQ.
Yeah, it's wild. Majima has been busy.
I mean, Majima is the power of the Tojo clan at this point. Why he's not the captain, who knows? But
doesn't want it.
Doesn't want it.
I mean, you're right. I don't actually know who is the captain at this point. Do they have one? Questionable. Majima smiles over at Saejima. The fuzz ain't getting near us now. Let's roll. They begin walking, the crowd shifting around them to form a human walkway, barricading anyone who would dare try to get anywhere near Saejima. So he's like fully just keeping the cops off him. Saejima asks where he's taking him. Our old stomping ground. They turn the corner, looking up at the old Yoshida batting center. A wide smile spreads across Majima's face. Come on, the clock's ticking. I could use a few swings. I told you, baseball's important!
Yeah. Well, no, for Majima, in fact, yeah, he's used a baseball ground a couple of times.
Also, if you remember, back in Yakuza 1, during one of the Majima Everywheres, Kiryu was sent to the baseball thing to find him, and he got really annoyed at Kiryu, it's the only time we see Majima legitimately mad, where he's like, you've interrupted my time. This is, like, sacred ground for me. Because this reminds me of the days back with my bro.
Interesting. Yeah. Cool.
Baseball was their thing. They head in, Majima picking up a bat. Hit a few for old time's sake. Majima walks in, immediately getting to swinging, with Saejima following behind, telling him to stop playing around. You know why I came back, don't you? Without stopping his swings. To rendezvous with old man Sasai? Oh, and to get your revenge on me. If you know what I want, why are you fucking around? I gotta know what went down on that day in 85. How come you never showed and backed me up? Majima readies his bat for the next ball. There's a whoosh as it soars through the air towards him, and a dull thud. Skin-meeting ball as Majima plucks it from the air an inch before Majima's swinging bat. Answers, bro. Majima's face goes sour, his fun ruined, dropping the bat and walking to the middle of the cages before looking at Saejima. What's the holdup? Get your ass over here. You didn't forget, did you? What we promised to each other? Minute we stepped into this world, the deal was sealed. Duty's everything. Friend or foe, or even sworn brother, the price for betrayal is death. That's the oath we swore the day we became brothers. Of course I remember every damn word of it. Well, whatever the reason, I betrayed you. Couldn't help old man Sasai either. He rips off his jacket.
That's a lie. Why did he lie? He's like, he doesn't want to...
Is it just guilt?
Yeah.
Like, even though it was out of his control?
He did help Sasai.
I'm wondering whether it's he couldn't help him stay in power, question mark. I don't know. We're settling this like good old times. You beat my ass, I talk. Gonna need a boatload of luck for that, though. Saejima's face stays stone cold. So you think I've gone soft? He rips off his own jacket, his tiger poised and ready to take down the Hanya.
It's a fine tattoo. It's not one of my favorites.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Mid guy, mid tattoo.
Best guy mid tattoo.
This is served for some lovely characterization for Majima. That's what this is.
He's a man among men.
Here we go. Come on.
See, the thing that I think you'll hate isn't the franchise. Saejima's a bigger character than Majima, technically.
No, he's not. I assumed he was dying this game. Are you joking?
Majima laughs. Thank God, I was half expecting you to be all flab. You're still hot.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have survived all these years without a good way to fight back. You're the one living it easy. Majima pulls his knife. And guess I don't gotta go easy. At least we agree on that. Let's do this, brother! The guitars blaze as the stadium lights all flick to life, shining bright as the men launch into each other. A mountain of meat versus a tornado of blade. Literally, because in this one, Majima gets a new move where he basically turns into a Beyblade.
Oh, nice.
He puts his knife out and he spins it like a tornado.
I like the lights coming on there at the kind of critical moment of drama. You just know there's a poor little Majima goon upstairs working the tech. I just wait for, you'll know.
Oh, you know that Majima hires drama majors? Oh. Like, he absolutely has like an entire department that is just drama majors.
You think about you go away for 25 years and you come back and your best friend in the world has turned into this fucking like David Bowie Gollum fucking psychopath, you know.
He just appreciates the theatrics of war. The tiger's paws land hard on his brother's lithe body, slamming him repeatedly into the ground, until with one final hurl of his fists, the Hanya is left unable to stand, gasping for air. What's left, bro? No gas left in the tank? Saejima furiously reaches a boil. You going down that easy? He swings his arm back, throwing it forward in one final death blow straight for his face, but never makes contact, stopping a hair's width from his nose before collapsing himself to the ground beside Majima. Majima collapses beside him, the two panting for air. "Hey, bro," Saejima says. "You and me, we've changed. We used to burn so damn bright, but now, after all these years, it's turned us into a pair of farts." He struggles to hit, looking at Majima. "At least now you can keep up the Kansai act." Majima gets a burst of energy and leaping straight to his knees, getting in Saijima's face. "Huh? You starting shit again?" Saejima chuckles. "Relax. Gotta say, though, this ain't how I remember ya. You used to be 100 times stronger than that." Majima returns to a seat, lounging back next to his brother. "What's up with all that shit on your eye anyway? That what's holding you back?" "Ain't got nothing to do with it. Been carrying this burden since 25 years now." The number flashes Saejima straight back to attention. "Since 85. Damn straight. The same day old man Sasai and I lost you. That's when my peeper went too." He takes his eye patch off, showing Saejima the empty socket where his eye once was, Saijima's face contorting in horror. He puts it back on. "So yeah, that's the thick of it. No, seeing 2020 probably did help. Don't feel half as tough just seeing 20, you know? But hey, wouldn't be fair if I didn't have a teensy handicap." Saejima remains deathly serious through Majima's jokes. "Bro, that eye. You lose it on my account? Get mixed up in something? Is that why you didn't show? Tell me the truth, bro. That day back in 85. What kept you from coming to help?" Majima gets to his feet, walking a few paces away. "That whole Ueno Seiwa hit? Far as I can tell, it was all just a setup. Not 100% though, no way of finding out now. The guy I'm betting behind it, he ain't ever gonna talk again." Saejima looks at him in confusion. "Who?"
Sassy.
"Shibata. Kazuo Shibata. If I'm right, me, you, old man Sasai, he's the one who left us all to hang. Part 2 complete."
Ooh. Cool.
What the hell does Saijima's past 25 years ago have to do with the present day conspiracy? Like, that's a thread I can't connect. Like, you know it's going to come full circle somehow, but I cannot connect that.
Shibata is responsible for setting up this attack on Ueno. It's the most basic answer, I guess, is that there was another rising Tojo group, and he, in a 2-for-1 stroke, got rid of his rivals and got them to shoot 18 of his enemies as well at the same time.
April 21st, 1985. In an abandoned warehouse, a much younger Majima is led into a warehouse by Shibata, questioning why he was brought here. Shibata laughs about how his Kansai accent's gotten better since the last time he saw him, and it seems now Shimano's taken an interest in him. I love this little detail that Majima's been putting on his accent the entire series.
Yeah.
Like, just the entire series he's been putting on a fake accent. He turns. "You're all dressed up today. Going to a funeral? Come to think of it, Sasai's boy Saejima was in his finest this morning too." Shibata gets straight to the point. Majima won't be at the Ueno hit today. Majima sits shocked as Shibata lays out the details of their plan, saying that there's been a change of plans. Patriarch Dojima doesn't think that it's in their best interest to stamp out the Ueno Seiwa clan yet. Majima's confused and starting to get angry, demanding a reason, with Shibata telling him that the hit was originally a Dojima idea, a bid to expand their turf. They left it to the Sasai family. Majima already knew this. That's why it's him from the Dojima family and Saejima on loan from Patriarch Sasai. Shibata continues, asking, "Ain't it strange though? How did the Tojo know that the Ueno would be heading straight for a ramen shop event immediately after his release? And why would his first meal as a free man be noodles? Why not a lavish celebration? The whole thing stinks. The entire thing was probably planned by a traitor in Chairman Ueno's ranks. One likely working alongside a Tojo insider who would leak the intel. And that traitor in the Tojo? Hideki Sasai. He has ties to the Ueno Seiwa, told the Tojo where the Ueno would be, and urged the brass to authorize a hit, and all to start a war. Sasai is authoring a way for the Tojo to hit the Ueno Seiwa hard, and what better way than their chairman declaring war.
Can you remind me, and it's okay if you don't know or you can't say, who gave the boys the bag full of guns? Where did they come from?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, with their Dojima family issued. So Majima just got them through the family. It wasn't like a specific person.
Okay.
Majima doesn't understand, though. What does Sasai have to gain from starting a war between the two factions? Shibata isn't positive, but speculates that Sasai would work with the Ueno Seiwa traitor to contain the situation, paving his way to become a top figure in the Tojo clan. Majima stays silent, his mind struggling to process all that he's learning, while Shibata continues, saying that they can't allow a Dojima family man to get mixed up in all this, lest it cause problems for Patriarch Dojima and Shimano. Majima throws Shibata against a wall, screaming. His bro's already on his way. Does Shibata expect him to just sit on his hands, knife him in the back, do nothing while he goes on a suicide mission? He throws him away. I'm going. You and your plan can suck it. I'm not leaving the only brother I've ever had to die. Shibata tries to stop him, saying that he won't make it out alive either, but Majima doesn't give a fuck. He's been ready to throw his life away since he swore his oath. A cruel smile spreads across Shibata's face. Is that so? Then I guess I don't have a choice. He gives a shout, and dozens of his men come swarming into the room, surrounding them both. I was hoping we could keep this peaceful. Shame. Make yourself nice and cozy. This'll be your home for a while. Majima flies into a rage, cutting through the group, but ultimately, his strength isn't enough. He's chained to a steel beam by the remaining men and beaten bloody. One comes towards him with a steel pipe, commenting on what a beast he is. Majima spits in his face, earning him a hard fist across the jaw. You certainly got a pair on you. Makes sense they'd pick you for a hit. The man reaches to the floor, picking up a knife, waving it in Majima's face. But listen, the boss only gave us 2 orders. Keeping you holed up here, and making sure you don't croak. So basically, I'm free to do whatever to keep you in line however I damn well please. Even if it got ugly. Like, say, if you ended up losing an eye, or maybe even 2. Now say you're sorry, cry like a little baby. Majima sneers. Can't do that. I only grovel to my boss. Or someone I respect. Not some fucking pissant. Well, then I'm real sorry, but I think you know what happens next. Rather go out blind than bow to you, bitch. Oh yeah? If you say so! Majima's eyes go wide as the man approaches, drawing the knife to his face and digging it into the socket.
Oh.
You know, we see this exact scene in Yakuza 0.
Yeah, guess we just didn't know the full context.
Yeah.
And that's where we're leaving it.
Oh, okay, part 2 done.
Part 2 done.
Man,
Are your puzzle pieces coming together?
No.
No? What's going on? What's our conspiracy here?
So I had a wild thought there, if I could share it. But the more I think about it, the less likely it seems. So I'm like, what are the reasons why Ueno and his captain could still be alive after one of them being apparently shot once, one of them apparently being shot twice at point blank range by a man who's just killed 16 others? Yeah. I'm like, well, if the whole thing was a setup, the location was set up, the thing, maybe he was given a gun loaded with blanks, and that part of it was set up too. But I was thinking about more and more about the practicalities of it. I'm like, that would be very, very silly.
But there is every chance that they're doubles that he killed.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, it could be. I have no idea. No idea where that's going. I think that where I'm sitting with Ueno right now is Captain Katsuragi, right? I think Captain Katsuragi survives. He gets shot through the heart, fine, whatever.
We've never seen Ueno, have we?
But what's the name of the chairman, Ueno?
Ueno.
Oh, it's just Ueno. That's the name of. I think Chairman Ueno is either dead or like in a coma, unable to give orders. I think that Captain Katsuragi is effectively not as in like, oh, he's too sick to really do anything today, but he told me to do this. As in, I think that Captain Katsuragi is in charge. He's not taking orders from anyone. He is pretending the chairman is still cognizant when he isn't. But I don't know. I have no idea where this is going. And the Saejima part here has felt bizarre. Like, I understand the relation to the 80s, but the entire part itself has not furthered the conspiracy. It's furthered Majima's growth, and that's good for Majima, but it's... You know, Akiyama really was like, bam, 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 conspiracy, set up. And this just felt like we kind of took a bit of a slow jog on to the next bit of the story.
And we think he's a shit guy.
Yeah, shit guy, do not
Where did he finish on the mountain?
Not very high.
Not very high at all.
Well, for anyone in the Discord...
Is he still in hell?
There.
He's definitely still in hell.
Oh no, but he's such a good guy.
He ended on an up, which was...
teaches lessons.
He didn't chop a man's head off, I guess.
I'm gonna leave you in suspense.
Oh,
I'm gonna leave you with a little bit of Antissa.